purify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that you may present it himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Yeah, holy and without blemish, man. You know, so to know the whole Bible, that brings us closer to our understanding in the Lord, man. You know, to be fully immersed in the truth, to be washed, man.
I've got another one, just to back you up. Isaiah 34 and 16 says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Yeah, because I'm trying to, because I got what I wanted, but I need to get this away now.
Oh, what's the screen?
There it is right there.
No, hang on. It's cancel.
No, that's the only thing I had to string on.
I'll choose one. Just like choose it.
Yeah, I did. And it's not
still
there.
there,
Yeah.
No one of these shall fail.
That's the turning around of the camera.
Yeah. None shall want her mate for.
Okay, that's all. I'll press that again. Come on, the water, brother.
Should be good now.
Should be all right.
So we need to do straighten it a bit. Should I straighten it?
No, it should be fine. It should be all right.
Tilted though.
Favorite chapter.
It's a little
And all of our favorite topics, all of our favorite chapters. But guess what? We gotta get into the whole book.
Only because I don't want to break it, brother.
That's right.
Sometimes I feel like I want to break
You can be
it.
rough with it. It's very strong. I hit the button. So
You know, what's
No,
your
that's all right.
favorite Bible verse?
God.
Again,
And
we
you
all
can
have
talk
our
more this way
favorite
if you
Bible
want as well.
verse.
Yeah, just to get everybody in
I
there.
did a video earlier and I mentioned my favorite
that's it.
Bible verse. Okay? But guess
Yeah,
what?
that's all right.
Just because it's my fucking favorite Bible verse, don't mean it's the only Bible verse I gotta read. It said, seek ye out of the book, man. You see, we're striving for the masteries. We're striving for the entirety. We're striving for the whole thing, man. Okay? From everything we've been given in this Bible, we want to know the whole holy thing. Okay? I ain't gonna say damn thing because it's not damned. We want to know the whole holy thing. Okay? Well, I like Joshua chapter 19 verse 1. And that's all you read. No. That don't matter, man. It's about everything. That's why it said here in verse 16 again.
Yeah. Isaiah 34:16 again. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
Yeah, let's get that. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength for salvation. Because it says at the end, from my mouth it have commanded. Well, how silly would we be that we are exposed to the truth? We got the cheat codes, but you don't use them. Yeah, I know the Lord said that, but nah, we'll talk about this instead. Well, in a time of trouble, the whole book is going to be valuable to us. See, we value the Bible now, we really do. And Lord willing, it stays that way. But you know when we're really going to value the scriptures? In the day of trouble.
Hey.
We're really going to value the Holy Bible when all hell breaks loose.
In a day of distress.
In a day of distress. When everyone's, what do I do? You know? Get used to people crying. Ancient Egypt, there were screeches, there was cries, there was all kind of things going on, man. When that night when the Lord came round, man, people were crying and dying. But it's going to be the same thing and worse. When people are out here crying and dying, we're going to be remembering the little book written within and written without. The Bible's going to be very, very, very valuable in a day of distress, man. In that day of trouble, it's going to be an honor and a blessing to have consumed this word. So whilst we have it, we should be getting into it.
Actually, the Bible is valuable from even now.
Now,
You know, because we have to lead up to that time. We have to lead up to that time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's a good point. Of course, brother. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, can I bring this up? No, okay, go.
First Maccabees 12 and verse 9. Therefore we also, albeit we need none of these things, that we have the holy books of strict scripture in our hands to comfort us.
You see what I was talking about the temple earlier, brothers? Because what was stored in the temple? The scrolls. Amongst many other things. The menorah, the Ark of the Covenant, you know, the treasury was in the temple. We spoke about finances, we spoke about waste, we spoke about, what do you call it? Even like border control. You go to a country now, you know, you got to take your passport out. You know, they're looking at you, they're looking at the passport to make sure it's you. Oh, well, what are you here for? Business or pleasure? They do that to this day. Well, guess what? Coming into Israel, you had to go through some of the guys that worked in the temple at the gates. That's why, you know, you have to, like, you know, we have the service in that. You state your name, you state your tribe, and you state your nation. You don't just get to walk up to the podium and start reading. Who the hell are you?
What's your credential?
What's your credentials, man? Are you certified to read from the scroll?
If you get some fucking evil coming up,
You know, like it's some fucking Moabite. Yeah, I believe. No, you don't. No, you don't, man. You got to state your credentials. So even border control was ran from the temple. You know, read that again. There's a reason I mentioned that.
First Maccabees 12:9. Therefore we also, albeit we need none of these things, that we have the holy books of scripture in our hands to comfort us.
To comfort us, man. Okay? To comfort us. So this Bible is as Ahab said, it's valuable from now. It's timeless. You know, from before the world was, the word was there. It's valuable. It's valuable all throughout, man. Okay? But it's there to comfort us, man. You know? So when things go wrong, you know, like that advert, who you gonna call? You know? Well, who we gonna call? We're gonna call on the Lord. Okay? Well, we're not no, that's off. That's off. So like, we're not gonna call it. We are calling on the Lord from now. Ain't no thing in the future. We're calling on the Lord from now, man. You know, because you're gonna have people that try to call on Him in that day. It's not working.
Yeah, the line's engaged.
You know, yeah. This number is not recognized. Nah, man. Ain't time to call on the Lord in that time, man. We calling on Yahweh Hashem Yahshua from early, man. Seek ye the Lord
While he may be
found. Call upon Him whilst He is near. You try to call them digits in the day of trouble.
Can't even type them right, yeah.
You might want to call them the wrong nigga.
Wrong nigga, man.
This is the thing, the digits of the name.
The name.
They're typing in the wrong name, like Yahuwah, Yehoshua, wrong number.
Yahuwah,
Yeah.
Yahweh, Jehovah.
It's like the password.
Yeah.
You put on the right password, you ain't going in there.
You gotta know the names, man. Let's get that. Zephaniah 3:9. Let's get that, man.
Who put this one earlier?
Okay, let's read that.
Isaiah
Sometimes
33
I forget, you know. So like,
and 6 says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and
Yes.
strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
yeah, so where's the wisdom and knowledge found? In the book. So we got to spend a lot more time in the Bible, man. You know, we got to get this word. You know, we got to read more, and as well as, you know, I did a video on it in the week. You know, the flip side as well as producing videos and doing the work, right? Speak to myself first and foremost. We got to spend more time doing studying. That's right. It's not all about just turning, because you can turn on the camera and then exhaust all you know or all I know, and it's like, well, I ain't got no more in the tank. Aside from the hey, I ain't taking away from it. Do the work, but outside of that as well, off camera, man. Even myself, man, we got to read the Bible more, man. You know, the Bible shouldn't be an accessory to the camera. I only bring the Bible out when the camera's out.
How could you if you haven't studied?
If you ain't studied it. Sometimes when it's just you, yourself, and the Lord in the room, you know, just read, man. Take notes. You know, every brother should have a, you know, we have them. You brothers should have a notepad, man. You know, if you're not good at writing, have an iPad or have a tablet. Whatever you can. I know that. No, there's a science behind reading something and writing it down or typing it out. You're gonna remember it way better if you write it out. You know, we have a notepad. I have a few, man. Old ones, newer ones.
And that's why sometimes when brothers do videos, they don't really hardly, I mean, they'll pull out maybe like one scripture, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Because every brother's different when it comes to knowing what they know. Not everybody knows everything, right? But I'm just, I mean, not everybody knows the same kind of thing in this thing. Some brothers are gonna know more than other men. But I'm just saying, what usually happens is when you do a video, certain men, they don't pull out any scriptures hardly, and they just do more talking. Why? Because for the most part, they don't really study. Right? They studied a little bit more, they could then bring out the precepts also. And then before you know it, and I noticed this too, when you study the scriptures, what tends to happen is you start having these thoughts of other precepts in your mind. Happens all the time when I study. You know what I mean? Or even when I'm preparing a lesson, there'll be like other scriptures entering into my mind. Oh yeah, that's scripture. You got a lesson.
Piece of battle what the elder said. This is the book of John chapter. Actually, me some weird ass translation. I've said it in the King James. The book of John chapter 7, verse 37. Right? And it says, he that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Yes, meaning you're always going to be abundant in the knowledge. Because what you do is, when you do study, what happens is that you're led to different precepts. And before you know, you have a whole entire lesson, but it can go on forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And before you know, you wind up coming across scriptures you didn't even know about. You feel what I'm saying? So if you don't do if you don't do the studying, you're not gonna get it in your mind. And then when you do a show, it ain't gonna really come out right because you're not in the spirit of the book. So you have to get yourself in the book as much as possible. And even for me, I'm gonna put myself out there. I don't really study enough the way I think I should. So if I apply the kind of studying that my mind's eye wants to do, then I'm gonna be probably kick-ass on the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about me gathering all knowledge to pump myself. It ain't about that. But it's for the sake of teaching.
The church.
Of the church.
Yeah.
Before I do, just preface it this way, like it's about what you're consuming. Like if you're consuming with your eyes just worldly shit like television shows, movies, music, you're not really thinking on precepts. But if you consume the scriptures, if you're reading it, you're really actually putting more.
What's he doing?
You're really putting more that you can draw from in future. You're building up your storehouses. Have a good day. You're building up your storehouses of information that you never know when you can call on it. When you're doing a lesson, all of a sudden this precept's like boom. Oh, I never thought of that, and then you see the link. It's crazy how it works. But here's the point. 2 Timothy 2 and verse 15 says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Right, and that's another thing too I want to talk about, because I remember the old apostle Tahar, he mentioned that. He said, you can't be like, I forgot the word he used, but you basically can't be a copycat. Like you hear something from a particular, head or an elder, and then you kind of regurgitate. You don't want to be a regurgitator. So what do? You look into things. Again, going back to study. Because let's just say you regurgitate something that someone else said. Is it true? Right? So the whole thing about it is that you want to get the truth of what you're about to say before you say it. Otherwise you're gonna look like an ass like the guy from One Body. That dude ain't nothing but a damn clown, man. Because he's a regurgitator. He just talking. He don't, and you can tell he don't really study. You can look at certain parents and you can tell, oh yeah, this guy, he ain't studying nothing. He just going with what somebody else taught him, or the basics of what he knows. No, you have to study to make for the point of what? Showing thyself approved.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Right, and then you don't have to be ashamed, because let's just say you say something, right, and you expecting other niggas know it, but you don't know. That's happened before to certain people in GMS. You know what I mean? And that's all right. That's cool, because we're human. We're in the flesh. We make mistakes, but you gotta get this. It's all about you getting yourself correct. Studying, knowing these precepts. Like you could know little to no precepts, but if you study a little bit more, you can learn the precepts. You watch the lessons, and then you can get the breakdowns. All of these different things, and before you know, you're able to hold your own and teach.
Yeah, precept. Go on, brother. John 14 and 25 says, these things I have spoken unto you, being yet present with you.
Right.
But the 26. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you.
Right. Because remember, doesn't it say in the book of Psalms 40 and 7, it says that the volume of the book is written of him. So if you're constantly on the book, now, I'm not saying go hardcore mad, bugged out and study. I'm not saying that. But if you study, at a balanced rate, it's going to show when you come out and you start to teach. And then you're going to, again, be able to hold your own. Right? Because you could be a brother that's coming from like a place of, I don't know too much. Nah, man, like, there's growth. You gotta start from somewhere. Right? So when you're constantly studying, you're building yourself up. about you gathering intel of the scriptures, but you're building your spirit up. You're trying to connect with your Yahweh Shah. All right? That's the whole thing with the Holy Spirit. Go on, brother.
Now, because you got brothers that don't really come to camp, or they don't feel adequate to come and be a teacher. Now, I remember when I first come, I was behind the scenes, and I thought to myself it was a helper. But then brothers started. I looked at the first video I did. It was just about herbs. So I thought I was going to be talking about herbs like all the time. But obviously now the Spirit, the Most High, let me know that it's, other precepts come to my mind, and slowly but surely let me grow in the Spirit. And as you say, sometimes you're doing a video on a subject and precepts come to your mind, and you start to go a little bit wider or deeper on something where you never had that intention to do. Right. It's because of the Spirit of the Lord that brings certain things back to your mind.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all because it goes back to study. And you don't want to study the scriptures or learn the scriptures so you can be deep. No, fuck all of that. It's about you building yourself up so that you can teach the church. That's it. That's all it is. It ain't nothing to it. You know what I'm saying? Now, what you can do, you got a precept, right?
Yeah, but if you want to move on, it's fine. But I was going to bring this one out because it's like Matthew 6:21 says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
Yeah, that goes back to what you were saying about
meditating on things of the world. If you're more occupied in the world, like let's say you spend 8% of your time thinking about the world and only 20% about the scriptures, it's going to show because where your mind is at is what you're going to be speaking about and into. You're not going to be able to switch from being completely worldly and bringing out spiritual things. So really you need to spend more time immersed in this truth than you do in the worldly shit, and that will show in how you're learning precepts and moving forward. That's all I've got. This is the book.
No, that's all.
It's okay, brother. You go. Okay, Titus 2 verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, brave, temperate.
And that's another thing too. Because let's just say you don't study, right? And then you apply the books and go into different areas of all kinds of knowledge, right? You're gonna start talking shit. So that's another thing too, because you got guys that come in the truth and then they'll try to add different things in at the same time. No, you need to get this information first, which is the foundation, and then you can go into different books. Okay? But even just in generally speaking, I didn't even have to say all of that. Kind of went off there. What I could say is this, right? Let's read that again.
Yeah, Titus 2 verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
Right.
2.
So how do you do that? You have to first study which is considered sound doctrine. Once you study that, then you're going to be speaking the truth of Yahweh Shah. That's it. I want these brothers to read, man. If you brothers got a precept, bring it out, man. You got a precept, my brother?
Not at the moment, but I will do.
Okay. Go on, man.
That the aged men be sober, brave, temperate, sound in faith.
Right. Brave, temperate, what?
Sound in faith.
So that's another thing you want. You want to be temperate. So how can you be temperate if you're not regurgitating the scriptures? Remember, the scripture says that the spirit, what is it? Like we die from day to day, right? In the flesh. I'm roughly paraphrasing.
The flesh is day by day.
Right.
Being renewed.
Yes. But why are we renewed ultimately? Because of the word renews. This truth renews. So if you ain't dealing with this and you ain't studying too much, man, you're gonna be renewed and then you're gonna be broken hearted over the wiles of this life.
Worn out, you mean?
Yeah, you're gonna be going out. The water, brother. So that's just the thing. And just like this brother said too, man, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about applying the precepts when you're at the camp. It's about applying them when you're not at the camp, when you're by yourself. Because I tell you, when we're by ourselves, you got evil wicked thoughts that's in our minds every day. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Like you may have a mind, excuse me, not a mind, but you may have a thought in mind. Oh yeah, maybe it's like this or maybe it's like that. Like you got the devil telling you and trying to interpret things for you when it ain't even that. And then when you go check it, it ain't even about that. That's why you got the precepts for it. So if something's going on in your current situation, you gotta revert back to the precepts. And I speak to myself first and foremost. I need to do that as well. All right? Yeah, go on, bro. You finished with that?
No, just to finish it here. Let me read one more time. That the aged men be sober, brave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
Right,
and that patience is very key to this truth.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, as the brother Ram said, when we read these scriptures, you know, and I'm like a hypocrite because I know I should be doing more too, we're studying. But when you read these scriptures, it takes patience.
Right.
You can't just flick, you can't just skim over the, I think Brother Caleb was saying that Thursday gone. You can't skip over the scriptures, you know what I mean? It takes patience, right? You take down your notes, you know what I mean? And that's what it is, really.
Just to back you up, let me read it first anyway. 2 Corinthians 4 and 16 says, "For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day."
Yeah, that's what I was supposed. The spirit is what? Renewed day by day. So how do you renew the spirit? By going into the precepts. That's it. It's just that simple. But I want you to read what you just read again because I want to recap on that.
Yes, sir. Titus 2 verse 2, that the aged men be sober, yes, like that is something, brave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
Right, and that's another word too, patience. The word patience means to suffer. So again, that's why you got to go back to the precepts, because we're suffering every single day. Why are we suffering every single day? Because of the crimes of our forefathers, which is what we are today, right? So to combat that, we got to go back to this. I know I'm saying the same thing repetitively, but that's how I got to do that. You know? Yeah, so I want you to read that again, because there's another point. Read that exact verse again.
Okay. The book of Titus 2 verse 2, that the aged men be sober, brave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
Right, in charity and in patience. Again, meaning to give in a more of a positive spirit. Because if you're giving, which is what we're doing right now, we're giving. We're teaching men that's not out here with us, and us also men that's before us. So we have to be in the right kind of state of mind to teach the people. So it doesn't really matter what you're going through in your personal life. I could be going through all kind of help, right? You brothers could be going through all kind of help, but it's not about that. It's about you teaching the flock. It's about you building on the flock. It has nothing to do with you. So you gotta get out of it or try to figure it out in the spirit. Do some fasting and praying and get your act together. Because if you don't get your act together, it's gonna show on camera. You're gonna want to look like an ass, man. Because you ain't right in the mind. Because you ain't fucking studying. So it's all about the study.
Precept.
Go on, my brother.
But you said, no matter what you're dealing with, outside of being at the camp and whatnot, you still got to do the work.
You still got to do the work, yeah.
This is 2 Timothy 4 and verse 2. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
And you know what too? The instant in season and out of season doesn't just apply to the weather. It also applies to where you at emotionally, mentally. Yeah. So fuck all of that, man. So you gotta get it right. Like I said, we all going through something, man. I know brothers is going through financial difficulty because it even apply to. I know that because I am to a certain degree. But we gotta fuck all of that. Because at the end of the day, we got work to do.
Can I say something? I finish, brother. Finish. And I was going to that word a couple of years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, yeah? Or wrong. And that word is incident season and outer season. And that also means that when you're comfortable or not comfortable, uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that incident season, that's what it also means.
Yeah. And the word instant also means to be ready.
Yes.
You gotta always be ready. So it don't matter. It don't matter if it's cold outside.
Yeah, that's good.
Or if it's hot outside. Or I'm having a bad day. Or I got a cold. You know what I mean? I mean, if you got like a hay fever, some brothers catch that, right? And your nose is all fucked up, you got a headache or whatever, migraine, right? Then you may not, you can fall back, depending on how it is. But if the immune system can deal with it, then you can even your ass to be out here and teach this work. Because you got work to do, man. It's like Satan. You think Satan takes breaks? You think the angels be taking them breaks? I don't know. Now I know we're in the flesh, but we can't be taking no fucking breaks. I don't need to keep cussing. Go on, real quick. Because you've been waiting for quite some time. You're going.
2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 24. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men.
Right.
Apt to teach.
Right.
Patient.
And patient. So you're not supposed to what? Be a striver, meaning a fight. So you're supposed to be what in a good kind of state of mind. Now I'm not saying it's an easy thing, because I'm miserable during the week. We all miserable during the week, right? So for me to say, oh, it's like it's easy, no, I'll be lying to myself. But at the end of the day, if you thinking negatively, then something's going on. Something's going on to the point where you maybe have to change your diet, or maybe you didn't fast and praying enough. It gotta be something, you know? Because we have to be in the right state of mind. We don't have no freaking choice. Because if we just gonna let the flesh, because you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is, man. This flesh is more prevalent to failure. So if you're allowing the flesh to be what it's supposed to be, then that's not going to do you any good. So that means you got to walk in the spirit. How do you walk in the spirit? By studying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the flesh is always going to like it says in your part. The flesh will imagine evil. So if you're not going into the scriptures and you're not studying, then how are you building your spirit? And especially if you ain't fasting.
Precept.
Go on, brother.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Right, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Let's read that.
For the flesh lusteth against the spirit.
Right, so there's the inward battle, like Paul was saying. Paul was said, there's things that I would like to do, but I don't do, and there's things that I don't like to do, I do. So if you're not building on the spirit, and you're building more on the flesh obviously is going to take over, because that's what you're feeding more into.
That's very true.
And the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to the one to the other,
Right.
so that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
So that you cannot do the things that you want to do. So we're not in a situation where we've been building up we're not in a situation where the spirit rules. We should be, but we're not. So if we're not in that situation, we need to be building on the spirit every single day. So whether that's studying every day, or whether that's fasting a couple of days during the week, or not a couple of days, but you could fast like one day a week, right? A 24-hour fast, or it could be a 10-hour, whatever it is, right? But what you want to do is you want to build on the spirit. Because if you don't, and you let the flesh fester, then you're going to be weak, and then you're going to fall out the truth. Because you're having these stupid thoughts in your mind about a particular thing, or maybe your brother. Feel what I'm saying? So this thing is heavy, man. I want you to read that again, my brother.
And this is the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other.
Because check this out. If you can't overcome in the flesh, how the hell are you going to overcome Jacob's trouble? And the mark too. So you gotta overcome yourself first. You gotta get, like the scripture says, get thine house in order. Meaning you gotta get your body in order, yourself in order. Like a man. Yeah. That's why Job was talking shit, because he was what? Leaning unto the flesh. Now I understand Job, I get it. The Lord took everything from the man. He had everything. He was the richest man in this time. So if you don't lost everything, of course you're gonna be down and out in the spirit. Of course you're gonna be like, man, oh yeah, saying all kind of negative words about yourself. Of course. Because you lost your whole entire life. Everything that you've gathered up physically, you've lost it. Of course you're gonna feel out of it. But at the end of the day, Job was told to gird up his loins like a man. Like the scripture says, in the Apocrypha, it says, what is it? Marvel not when thou art changed to a lower state. Because you will be changed to a lower state. Especially for brothers that's coming in. You're going to be trying. And even if you're in the truth, you're going to be trying time in and time out to build you up. Go on.
And it says, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
Go on. There's some more in that too. So you can read Galatians 6 and 7. What verse you read?
I'm in chapter 5, verse 17.
Okay, well, you can get 6.
Let me finish. Right. And it says, verse 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication.
Right, you had this one guy years ago, man, that the apostles caught. It was the brothers, obviously, I think they was in Seattle. right? And this dude was committing adultery with a particular brother's woman. And I think his name, they coined him Seattle State. Right? They coined him right, double S, they coined him. So he wound up committing adultery. And that's that's the worst thing. That's a sin unto death. You got a precept, right? Okay, read that. Hold on.
This is Galatians 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked.
Right.
For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
And check this out. It says that for the Most High is not mocked. So whatever man sow, that shall he also reap. So now, let's go back to this.
And it says, Galatians 5 and 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness,
Which fornication means the same thing.
lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred.
It could even lead to you going into witchcraft. That's why you got so much females today that's in that witchcraft spirit. And that's why it's like I watched a little bit of a lot, brother, that you did right about certain things you said. And that's why you know, they fucking with you. Certain people go fucking with you. Because they on that left hand side energy, man. So don't be surprised, brothers, when you got these people fucking with you, man. Because they deal with the witchcraft. Things ain't working out in their current estate in this life. So they're turning to Satan to bring them back together. You know what I mean?
Hatred, variance, emulation.
Right, variance, meaning you're being contrary to the doctrine. You're being contrary, you're being different to the doctrine. Go on.
Emulations, wrath, strife,
Right, wrath, strife,
seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like,
Right.
of the which I tell you before,
Right.
as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
I want you to read it exactly. I want you to go back up and read all of that again. So every brother can read, so every brother can hear this out. And I need everybody to listen, man, as he reads the whole thing again. This is very important, man.
The book of Galatians chapter 5.
And read it loud, bro.
The book of Galatians chapter 5 verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Father.
Read it again.
Galatians chapter 5 verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Father.
You ain't gonna make it. So if you're not right in your mind, you're not going to make it. And how could you make it? Because your mindset is full. So in order for us to get into the kingdom, we got to walk according to the kingdom, which is the spirit. So if you're walking in the flesh, you're going to manifest these things that the brother just read. Once those things are made manifested, then you're already out. You're out. That's why the Lord, and that's why a lot of guys left the truth. Because a lot of these niggas was walking according to the flesh. And they did that. I want you to read it again, Galatians 6 and 7.
Okay, there's more. I'll start from verse 7 again. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that also shall he reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
Read that again.
Galatians 6 and 8. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
And that's what you want to be able to reap life everlasting. So if you're not studying in the scriptures and you're going based on, somebody please get me Proverbs 4. I'm in 4 and 5. Because when you don't study the scriptures and you start going about things in your own personal life, you start like thinking about, like, excuse me, let me bring it back to what I just said so I can say it the right way. Right? When you're going through your day-to-day life and you're using your own thoughts and your own ideas how to deal with certain situations without the precepts, what are you doing? You're leaning onto your own understanding. Yeah. So that means you don't trust in the Lord. That's really what you're conveying or projecting when you trust in yourself. Go on.
Proverbs 3 and verse 5 says, trust in Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Right.
In all thy ways acknowledge him,
Right. Go on.
and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil.
Right. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. So if you're thinking about everything based on the scripture, you're trusting in the Lord, and you're departing from evil. You just read it, right? If you sow to the Spirit, then the Spirit will what? Reap life everlasting. That's the whole point. Go on.
Psalms 119, 1 and 3. How sweet are thy words to my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth.
Right.
Through thy precepts I get understanding.
Right. Through thy precepts I get understanding. And Paul was even saying these things because he understood the operations between the spirit and the flesh. He was a little bit more deeper than the other disciples. All right, and that's why the Lord kind of separated them between. He wasn't a part of the family. Obviously he was a part of the truth, but he had his own little mission. You understand? That's the thing. You gotta always return back to the precepts. You always gotta think about the precepts. Out of every situation. Go on, bro.
Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way.
Therefore I hate every false way. Go on.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet.
And that's the point. That the words of the Lord are a lamp unto us. So there's no need for holding on. Here it is, you blinding yourself and you trying to like reach out your hands because you can't see the wall. You know, because you feel as though you're gonna walk into something. So you don't have to feel uncertain. You could feel certain because you have the light. So now it's like the brother said. How is it that you have the cheat code but you're not putting it to use? Come on, man. You got the cheat code, so use it. Everybody else don't have this, so they have an excuse to operate the way they operate. They have an excuse to delve into all kind of debauchery and nastiness. Because they don't got the truth, man. And Satan's really messing with everybody. People don't notice it, but the spiritual demon Satan has got everybody fucked up. And yes, I can say the word F. Because what did Paul say? Though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge.
Right.
And the word and the F word just simply means to strike. Go on, bro.
Psalms 119, 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
Wrong. That's all. And that's all we need.
All right,
We
go
know
with
that.
that.
No,
No,
you
you
go
go.
first,
You
brother.
go.
Okay. I just to back up my brother there. You brought up a lovely precept about the lust of the flesh, and this is why we need the scriptures. You know, we all fall short. I fall short all the time.
All of us, brother. Yep.
And we need the scriptures, you know, to keep us in sound mind. Yeah? Read this, brothers, from me. James 3, verse 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great and matter a little fire kindleth. The tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body,
That's it.
and setteth on fire the course of nature.
Right, and set up on fire the course of nature. So you don't want to put yourself on fire. What does this say? It says that it's not what goeth into a man's mouth, but what cometh out, which defileth a man. It's not about the washing of the hands. You gotta wash your hands. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. Let's read it again. Read that again, my brother.
James 3, verse 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great and matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire.
And the tongue is a fire. It doesn't say in the Apocrypha that all of the life, I'm saying in my words, all of the life of the living is the Lord's. So anything that's spoken or murmured about or said in secret is heard. So when you're saying things that don't need to be said, that right there can get you out. That right there can get you destroyed. Caught on fire. Spiritually, go on.
A world of iniquity.
That's what the fire is. The word of iniquity. Word of iniquity. Go on.
So is the tongue among all members, our members, that it defileth the whole body,
Right, that it defileth the whole body. Go on.
and setteth on fire the course of nature.
Meaning righteousness. So because heritage is you're in the truth, and your nature is to do A, B, and C, but your words can actually misdirect all of that and lead you to do all kind of nonsense. Because everything that you say and do, it has an effect on you, what is it, psychologically, subliminally. So if you keep saying certain things over and over again, you're manifesting or creating that reality.
You're speaking spells over yourself.
Exactly. That's why you have to turn spell. You're casting your spell when whatever you say. So you got to be careful what you say. I myself agree.
And if I may, Salakia, the demons are clever. It might not just be that you're casting a spell upon yourself, but those around you too.
I might be objective.
Yeah, you're not just casting a spell on yourself when you say certain things, you're casting it on those around you. So then those around you will reinforce what you're putting out there. So if you're speaking negative of yourself, other people start to see you in a negative light, and you're thinking, why are they thinking this way about me? Well, guess what? Your tongue hasn't been controlled. You therefore put that out there, and you're reaping the fruit of your own mouth.
Yeah.
Got one to back you up, yeah? Go on. Ephesians chapters 22 says, that ye may put off concerning the former conversations of the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. And
Because that's what you used to be. You had no promise, you had no hope, you had no knowledge. So you could go out there and be a beast without no understanding. That's what a beast is. A person that operates as a beast is a person that doesn't have no kind of sense of decorum because he doesn't have no knowledge. So if you got the knowledge now, then guess what? You gotta use the knowledge and apply it. And if you don't apply it, you're gonna get yourself all fucked up, man. That's the name of the game. And that's why certain brothers from time to time they gotta get rebuked or they gotta get reproved. Or if they can't deal with that because they so caught up in themselves, they want them going into the abyss, out of darkness. And then and you know what happens at the end of the day? They want them going out there teaching their own thing. Give them 2 years, usually, because this happens all the time. Give them niggas 2 years, and the next thing you know, you don't even see them guys anymore. It's like they never even existed.
Fell off the face of the earth.
reading on 23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Right, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Again, you gotta always think about the scriptures. Going on.
If I could just say, you've got examples. I mean, they're men, but they're men of the Lord. But they are the Most High giving us examples. We even just think about the things that we're discussing as they're older men in the flesh, but it's young, obviously they're young in the spirit. But they, with the energy that you're getting from a lot of them, you know, the things that they're going into, the hikes and the walks and all that, and the fasting. If you didn't look at their faces, it's like they're young men, isn't it? Like because of what the power of the precepts. Again, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, because that's the power of we talk about reading, but it actually has a renewal effect on us.
It sure does.
You know, it's like when Barnabas talked about being born again to Yahushites, the scriptures has that effect on us when we put it into practice. Last one, 24. And that ye put on the new man, which is after Yahweh, is created in righteousness and true holiness. Oh, brother, one example, if I may. One brother mentioned that if you look back, even, let me use myself as an example. When I look back at one of my old passport pictures, about 10 years ago, and the one I got now, even people have said it looked like I'm younger now than 10 years ago. And the brother said the same thing in the spirit, man.
This shoe can make you look young.
You know, so a brother said, don't want to mention the brother's name, but he's a well-known brother, you know, live streaming that. And he said, if you looked at him years ago, when you look at him now, he looks like a different person, like a younger person than then.
And
So,
even if, let's just say you came in this thing at a young age, it actually make you stay the same age you came in this thing. Maybe I'm doing shit.
so that is why there's reason to read, as in Isaiah 34 and 16 says, look into the book and read, not one of them has failed.
Right.
See, the Most High is giving us a blessing there, man. Now, there's a saying, you never know what you got till it's gone. Brothers are talking about wisdom of Isaiah 33 and 6. Wisdom is stability of thy time. There's an old West Indian saying, you never miss the water till the well run dry. So when it's gone, that's when you miss it and you realize what you had. But Abarat Azar, we appreciate we got it now, and we don't miss it if that time comes, when we're most likely withdrawn from us in some way, shape or form.
No, that's a boom.
I thought Killer had a precept for us.
Oh yeah. This is Proverbs 4, verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Beautiful. So lucky, I read the verse down. Let me read the verse up. Verse 4. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live.
Right. So this is David talking.
Solomon talking about David.
Right. So here it is, right? Here it is, right? King David, he was a top guy. And his brother Solomon was a top guy. And yet and still, he really brought it back to the Most High. In this case, to make sure that he stays grounded in knowing this information. Because this information is vital. Now, if you can, I want to show you how vital this knowledge is. Let's get Proverbs the 4th chapter.
From 1?
No, 4 verse, I think it's 23, 24.
I'm in that chapter now. So 4 and 23
Okay,
says,
keep reading that.
keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
That's the point that I want, brother. Out of it are the issues of life. So that's why you have to always constantly meditate on these things. You know what I mean? Because, man, I tell you, all of you brothers, you already know, man, I got love for all of y'all, man. You know, and I want y'all to make it. You know what I'm saying? So, you brothers, whoever this applies to, which I know who this applies to, right? But that's between me and that brother. I'm just saying, you gotta apply the precepts. Because if you don't, you're gonna wind up into the wayside. These are the issues of life. This is what we need. We need life, man. We need to be saved. We don't need to be casted down. We've already been casted down. So let's get with the program, man, of the Lord. Let's read that again.
Proverbs 4 verse 23 again. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence,
Right.
for out of it are the issues of life.
Right, and that's why it says diligent. What does it mean to be diligent? Doesn't it say in the book of Baruch, the 5th chapter, says, if you can, brother, it says, seek the Lord 10 times more. Yeah. It was in you to what? To be withdrawn from the Lord. But now that you found him, seek him 10 times more. So that might sound like a little, but when you really analyze it, let's just say you're driving a plane and the plane's going 60 miles an hour. The plane's not fast enough to go in the air. Once it reaches like 500 to 600 miles an hour, then it's already in the air. It's going fast. All right, if you take a car that's going 40 miles an hour, you take another, let's just say 40 kilometers an hour, and you take a car that's going 400 kilometers an hour. Come on, them are different speeds. Okay, you going fast. I think 400 kilometers an hour maps out to maybe 240 to 250 miles an hour. That's quick, man. Those are some dangerous speeds right there. Those are speeds of death.
Yeah, I found it.
Go on, bro.
Luke 4:28, it says, for as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High God, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
Go on.
For he that hath brought these plagues upon you
Right.
shall bring you everlasting joy
Right.
with your salvation.
How do you do that? You gotta go back to this. If you want to be restored, right? Because now this leads me to a topic that I want to get into, and then we're gonna get into something else. So I'll tell you what, bro, if you can. Oh yeah,
just to support.
Yeah. Get out the way, and then we're gonna go to this right here.
This is Psalms 119 verse 4. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently.
No, read that. Go on.
Psalms 119 verse 4. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently.
Yeah, read it again.
Psalms 119 verse 4. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently.
Right. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. And why do you have to keep it diligently? Because it's just a command, yes. However, but to keep yourself straight. Because the flesh isn't straight. The flesh is wiggly, up and down. That's why you can't draw a straight line by yourself. All right, that's an indication of what conditions we're in. So we need a ruler of measurement, a reed. Okay, and that's the precepts. And that's the precepts. There you go. So that's all we need. So now we're going to move forward. Yes, we do.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Right.
For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High.
We haven't seen it, and we don't remember us being the potential Allahhims. We don't remember this stuff. So we believe it based on faith. We ain't got no choice but to believe it based on faith.
So that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
Exactly.
By faith Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice.
And that was a simple thing. The Lord commanded both of the asses to give a sacrifice. Abel and as well as Cain. So Abel had faith for the reward that he was going to get afterwards. Same thing how it is right now. We have faith and we believe that he's a rewarder.
Them that diligently seek him.
Go on.
By which he obtained witness that he was righteous.
Right.
The Most High testifying of his...
By that faith, he obtained a witness that he was righteous. It all begun with faith. Go on.
The Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it he believed, being dead, yet speaking.
Right, being dead, yet speaking. Because doesn't it, you read the story when when Cain killed his brother, he said the voice of your brother cried unto him. Go on.
By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because the Most High had translated him.
Right.
For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased the Most High.
Right, that was by faith. It wasn't by sight like the scripture says. We don't go. What is it? We don't go by sight. So we're supposed to operate by faith. So it's not even about how much scriptures you know. It's not about how lovely you are. It's not about none of these things. You're doing all of these things which applies in the scriptures for the sake of your salvation through faith. How much is your faith? There's two things that's important. How much is your faith and how much faith have you got? That's going to determine your salvation. We're going to go into all of this. Go on.
Verse 6, Hebrews 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him.
Now give me the book of James chapter 2. You know what I'm doing. 2 and 26. I'll tell you what, hold on to that. You get me James 2 and 26.
Mind just bring up this piece of Brother Kashar on that point you made.
No, get James, and then we can go back to that.
James 2 and what?
24 to 26. Just in case.
James 2:24 says, James 2:24 says, ye see then how that by works man is justified and not by faith only.
Right. Well,
Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
right. Faith without works is dead. Because then you can say, I believe, but bro, you ain't putting the work to demonstrate. So you have to put that work in. And that's gonna showcase, okay, I have faith. So again, I say it's not about how much scriptures you know, it's not about how kind you are to the brothers or whatever. It's about you putting your bricks in to demonstrate that your faith is in effect towards your shop, so that you can be delivered. If you look at all of the sick people that Yahweh Shah healed, it took them to believe that he was the healer.
That's right. My faith has made me whole.
Exactly. So you have to apply the same concept. Yahweh Shah was nothing more than faith. So if you had faith to be healed, he would have healed you. You would have received healing. So it doesn't matter what conditions you're in. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Right? It's a matter of what your faith is. That's the understanding. Man. So now, where we at? Read some more.
James,
Shall we begin? Yeah, read it again.
James 2:24 again. Yea, ye see then how that by works a man is justified and not by faith only.
Right.
Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works when she had received the messengers
Right.
and had sent them out another way?
Right.
For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead
Right.
also.
So faith without works is dead also. Because your faith is what pleases the Creator. Then you receive the reward later. Now let's go back to this.
Real quick one, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 9, verse 28. And when he had come into the house, the blind men came to him. And Yahushua said unto them, believe ye that I am able to do this?
Right.
They said unto him, yea, Lord.
Go on. Exactly. He said, yeah, Lord. So he believed that he could be healed. And he was the one. And he didn't even see it. He didn't know he was there. But he believed it. And that's right. And that's showing you right there that it's about faith. Right? And it's about faith that we believe in this story. We wasn't there to actually witness this happening, but we believe it. Ain't that something? And guess what? The reason why we believe in all of this because the Lord gave us that gift. So we got to use that gift, bro. Come on now. Go on.
Back in Hebrews 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him.
Right.
For he that cometh to the Father must believe that he is.
Right.
And that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
And what is the reward? The reward is for us being saved from ourselves, first and foremost. Us being saved from the destruction which is for to come. Us getting the kingdom of heaven. That's it right there. That's it. So that's why I say what I say. Oh, you know what? Read Proverbs 1:7 again.
Proverbs 1 verse 7 says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
So if you fear the Lord, you're going to have faith in him. Because doesn't it also say to have faith is sin? So you ain't got no choice. So it doesn't matter if you're going whatever the hell you're going to do. Oh, I can't make the bill, I can't make the rent. You know, all the fam, you know, something's going on with the fam. A couple of brothers are going through family issues. Fuck all of that, man. Because guess what? Your family can't save you. Hell, they can't even save their damn selves. That's why they got problems. Now, you got problems too, but that proves you can't save yourself. Right? So who can really do the saving? It's only Yahweh Shah that can do the saving. Right? So you got to cleave unto him. That's how it goes. You know? I can't save myself from my personal condition that you brothers see outwardly. I could talk shit about it. You know, I could say, oh man, I hate this, I hate that, I don't like the way I look, etc., etc. I can say all of that. But guess what? All of that bickering and bitching about what I don't like, it don't matter, man, because I'm still gonna be here. I could be crying me a river, crying my eyes out. Yeah, so all that crying and mourning and moping, it ain't gonna change a damn thing, bro. Yahweh Shah is gonna be the one to change things. And if you believe that he's gonna be the changer of all things, which is written, then that's what he's going to have to do. All right, because it's about his deeds in. Go on.
By faith, being warned of the Most High, of things not seen as yet,
Right.
moved with fear.
Right? So you see, read it. You have to read it again.
Yeah, messed up. Hebrews 11 verse 7.
Right.
By faith, Noah, being warned of the Most High,
Okay.
of things not seen as yet,
Right, go on.
moved with fear.
Also, he was moved with faith. So there's two things going on. He had the faith and he was moved with faith. So those are the two key components. And he was the first prophet of all prophets. In the book of Genesis, in what is it? In the headings of the records. All right. And why is it that we know all of this stuff right there? Because of Moses, he went to go meditate towards the Lord, and the Lord prepared to him. And that's how he gathered all of the records. That's why we can read it right now. You understand? So we gotta apply all of this stuff now. Because you got plenty of individuals, an old ass nigga can tell you, oh, I read the Bible for 35 years. I read it backwards and forwards, but you tell him to interpret the precepts. Come on, he can't do it. Even to save his own life, he couldn't do it, man. But see, we got the codes. The Lord revealed it unto babes. So let's use it, man. Let's be the babes and use the information. And stop this lollygagging and bullshit, man. Go on, brother.
Moved with fear, prepared an ark
Right.
to the saving of his house,
Right, to the saving of his house.
by the which he condemned the world,
Right.
and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith.
Was by faith. And also he was moved by fear. So that's why he didn't get caught up in the flood. If you notice, right? Everybody else got caught in the flood, but he didn't. He had the faith and he was moved by fear. So it's the same thing with us. Noah's story is no different from the story that's playing out right now.
Everything's written for our learning, isn't it?
Come on now. Go on, bro.
By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out,
Right.
not knowing whither he went.
Right.
By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise.
Right. He sojourned in the land of promise with faith. So this is Abraham now. Abraham didn't know where the hell he was going. Probably he came across a couple of folk, told him, look, there's over here, go over here. And he landed on the area that the Lord told him to go to. Because that was going to be the place that his descendants was going to inherit, which was promised to him. Go on.
As in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob,
Right. Dwelling in tabernacles of Isaac and Jacob.
the heirs with him of the same promise.
Right, which is the covenant. He was talking about the covenant. Go on. What is the first and the second? Go on.
For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is the Most High.
Right, he was builder and maker of the Most High. All of that came by faith. So now what we're reading in the book of Hebrews 11 chapter is about the rapport of our elders. That's why it says that it obtained, what is it, a good report of our elders. So we need to be going back to our elders and also reading this book too to get the understanding of what's going on here. And I'm really applying this to myself as well. I might be talking to some of you brothers that applies to, but I'm also talking to me too. All right? Go on.
Verse 11, through faith, also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child
Right.
when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised.
Right, because she judged them faithful who had promised. So now, without all of that, let's get some other precepts. Let's also get the book of, let me see what I have here. Yeah, someone get Matthew 15. Matthew 15. And let's go and get verse 29.
Matthew 15 verse 29 says,
Actually, begin by reading verse 26.
on Matthew 15 verse
25. That's okay. Yeah.
Matthew 15 verse 25.
No, verse 24. Stop
Right, can't. Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she to worship him, saying, Lord, help me. He answered and said, it is not me to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs. And she said, truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Yahushua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee
And it's
even
like
as thou
these
wilt.
other camps, they read the scripture, they say, oh yeah, well this one was Edomite because the Lord called her dog. I'm going to hit you with some. Continue to read on.
I'll read that one again. Then Yahushua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt.
Right.
And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. And Yahushua departed from thence and came nigh to the Sea of Galilee, and went up to a mountain and sat down there. And great multitudes came to him, having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Yahushua's feet, and he healed them.
Right.
Insomuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb speak,
Right.
and the maimed to be whole, and the lame to walk,
No, I still don't come into the point.
and the blind to see, and they glorified the Most High God of Israel.
Yeah, so there you go. So it took all of these people to believe, to have faith. They were sealed. Simply put. So if we believe in this thing, right, to the very end, then we're going to receive the reward. This is written for our learning, for the saints. This ain't written for everybody. We know this. What did Yahushua tell the 12 in Matthew? Somebody get that. Matthew 13. Somebody get that. So we got the record. We got the record to know what to do. So now that we got the record, let's apply the record. You see this brother, man, he looked a bit down in the spirit, got a smile on his face. That's the spirit of the Lord. You know what I mean? His brothers be going through shit, man. Shit, I had a mopey look on my face, man. Like usually when I'm coming to camp, I look sad and upset and shit. Cause I'm going through it, man. This brother too, all of us really. But when the word comes out, the way it's supposed to come out, hey, it's lifting up. You know?
Yeah, keep it alive, man. I feel so happy now, brothers.
Yeah.
Being amongst some brothers, you know what I mean?
Huh.
I do feel happy now.
Yeah. That you can feel that life.
Matthew 13, which verse?
9 and 10.
Matthew 13:9. He hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
Right, but to them it is not given. So this information wasn't given to everyone. So they can act all out of part. Right? They can mope, they can complain and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get all attitude between one another. I'm talking about among our people now. They can do all of this stuff because the Lord ain't dealing with them. But us, we don't have no excuse. Because the record is here. We got the record. It was revealed to us. What does it say in the book of Daniel's chapter 2? Right? That the Most High is a power that reveals secrets, the deep hidden things. And Amos 3:7 says that all of those things are revealed to the servants of prophets. So it ain't revealed to the pastors, because if it was revealed to the pastors, we wouldn't have so many sick people around here. Right? We wouldn't have so many people going through all kind of hell and shit. You know, we going through hell too, but it ain't that bad to the point where it's like these people. Go on, bro.
You want me to go here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he answered and said unto them, this is Matthew 13:11. He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given.
Right, so we're done with that. You get Malachi 4. Malachi 4, verse 1.
This is the book of Malachi.
You ready for it? Yeah.
Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For, behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Right, and all they that do wickedly shall be stubborn. Go on.
and the day that cometh.
And why are they going to be stubborn? Hold on to that. Let's get Revelations. Revelations, what is it? How does it go, man? Revelations 21 and 8.
Revelation 21 and 8 says, let me read from 7. And he that overcometh shall inherit all things. I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone.
And that's why they're going to be burned, because of the lack of faith. So now let's read this.
Back in Malachi chapter 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly.
And you know too, when you think about pride, you also got to think about trusting your own power, your own way of self. You know what I'm saying? That's another form of being prideful too. You don't want to do that. Go on.
Shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up,
Right.
saith the Lord of hosts.
Right, because of a lack of faith. Go on.
That it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Right.
But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise.
Right, but unto you that fear my name, so if you fear the Lord, what? If you have to have faith. Yeah. Go on.
Shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings.
Right, so the what is it? Read that again.
Verse 2. But unto you that fear my name
Right.
shall the Son of Righteousness arise.
Right, so the Son of Righteousness is going to arise and do the same thing that he did to the sick and the lame.
With healing in his wings.
With healing in his wings. So we believe in all of this stuff, and we apply all of this stuff, then we're going to receive the healing like the lame and the dumb did. Okay, so that's why we got to apply this right now. It starts right now. Listen, man, it shouldn't have to start when the day is in effect. It starts right now, man. Go on, bro.
And if I may, Elder, the healing starts in the mind, because that's why it's important to read these scriptures, because a lot of things begin in the mind. But when you receive words of wisdom and take them in, that heals your mind, and then other things will follow. God willing. Anyway, that's okay.
No, that's right. Yeah. And that's why I said it starts right now. Meaning you gotta study these scriptures. Okay? Like I said, when I say this, I'm talking to you brothers that know. What did Yahweh Shai say? We just read it. That the Lord, what is it? He didn't give them the knowledge. Unto you is given. But unto you it is given. So you know it. You need to know this, man. You need to re-know this. Go on.
And it says, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the storm, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet.
That's spiritual power. That only takes for you to have faith and believe. That's it. So the whole point of all of this right here is to believe in the faith in it. That's your whole shot. And then we'll receive the rewards later. As Hebrews 11:6 now, speaking about that, I want you to read some articles that I sent to you brothers about this whole COV situation. They talking about how
Make a comeback.
yeah, they saying BA point, what is it? BA.2. What is it? I think it's BA.28 or some shit. It's gonna come into effect. They saying it's like proliferating in London. Right? By this what's his name, man? James King. You broke it down.
I saw
James
that.
King is name.
James King.
Which James goes back to Jacob, and his last name is King. So that's kind of symbolic, as I think, meaning that we gonna be the ones on top next. But we'll have to wait and see though. Boom, bro.
Okay. This is an article from Daily Record, and it says anyone with the C19 symptoms urged to stay at home, as Aries now accounts for 1 in 4
And I looked
cases.
up the word Aries, and the word Aries goes back to Discordia, which goes back to a Greek god. So maybe this may be, we have to wait and see. They may use this situation to cause the official chaos. We'll have to wait and see. Go on, brother.
Right, it says,
I'm not making it up.
no, I believe you.
No, but you still gotta research it just because I said it. You still gotta do it, bro. Like the church of the read.
It says anyone experiencing the thingy symptoms is
Variant.
variant. Yeah. Anyone experiencing the variant symptoms is being urged to stay at home, as cases are on the rise across the UK. According to the new figures released by the UK Health Security Agency, 10.8 per 100,000 of the population tested positive for the virus. The variant. So like, I could probably went away. I'm rusty. So like, 10.8 per 100,000 of the population tested positive for the variant in the week leading up to August the 14th. This is an increase from 9.3 cases per 100,000 as per July the 29th.
So what you do is, what you could also do is read up to this part, because you read that part.
Oh, this part, yeah. Okay. So it says experts suggest you should stay at home if you're displaying any variant symptoms, as Aries continues to spread across the UK.
They're confirming it that Aries continues to spread. So they're saying that Aries is spreading. And then they got another joint. What is it? BA. Let's go and read it. Yeah, I forgot. I thought I remembered. It's BA. Yes, it's in the. It's BA. Dot 28.1 or some shit.
It says hospital admissions have also slowly increased in all age groups, apart from those in the 15 to 24 age category. Those aged over 85 have the highest admission rates, increasing to 32.63 per 100,000, up from 20.49 per 100,000 in the previous report. However, hospital admission remain low overall.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal. They starting small, you know, and then eventually if they're going to use it, because they're saying they've already said it all. And this is from what? The Daily Mail, right?
This is from the Daily Record.
The Daily Record, right? So this article is we don't know this. We don't know about this outlet right here. But obviously they're getting it from other areas. Now, if you go into the Guardian, which is another main outlet, they actually go and explain it. So now, go out of there and go read the other article. There's another article that I sent you. This is coming from RT. Because I don't think you can connect to RT. They won't allow you to. They cut it off. So
you did another one. You had the Independent in there.
Yeah, you could read that later, but I want you to read this. Yeah, come. Azar Big Campus.
That's in the chat, yeah?
Yeah.
This one, yeah? Okay, right. Okay, this is from Azar Bacon 24. Washington wants to create a biological crisis.
And just to remind, this article originally goes back to RT. Go on.
Biological crisis when needed, says Moscow. And it says the US is grossly violating its obligations to the international community. Russia's embassy has said technicians wearing personal protective equipment suits stand behind a biohazard sign. The US wants to harness the power of dangerous biological agents and manage artificial epidemics by conducting illegal research in biolabs across the globe.
Right, and there is a lot of, I mean, if you go into the research, there's a lot of biolabs across the planet. I've done some research on this some time ago, man. There's plenty of them. So the thing with these devils, they're planning probably, and I use the term, not probably, but possibly, another scandal. You know? That's what they did before. That's what they did, didn't they? And they said, look, the COVID-19 is spreading. And then it came to the UK, and before you know it, the whole world got affected by it. So what they're saying about this one is that Aries is spreading in the UK. And then there's another one that's being detected in the UK too, which we're going to get into that. Go on, bro.
Well, it's twofold. they want to scare the minds of the people, to prepare the minds of the people to accept the things that they're going to try and do through the law. So they put these stories out there like this, so that people start thinking, oh shit, right, there's another variant. So then people become more persuasive. So when they do pull it out, people are ready to be like, take the next step that the government says that they should take.
Yeah, because you can't smack them in the face with it. You gotta use gradualism.
Yes, that's it.
And that's what it is. So they, like the brother said, they're preparing the minds of people that, yo, maybe the next one's coming. And then they need scientists that no one knows from now. You know what I mean? And there's another variant that we were saying, right, that was in Israel. And then detected in
See it, brothers?
I gotta focus on what I'm doing.
See it now? No, up the top there, you see it? Chariot right there. You see it?
I gotta focus on what
Look
I'm
there, Rockefeller, how watch the measure. You see it? You see it now?
Yeah, this is the U.S. is grossly violating its obligations to the international community. Russia's embassy has said technicians wearing personal protective equipment suits stand behind a biohazard sign. The U.S. wants to harness the power of dangerous biological agents.
Right, so this is what Russia's saying. Because they all know what the dealings with each other. This is a global unified system, so every politician knows what each other's doing. You feel what I'm saying? So this is why this particular person is saying what he's saying.
And manage artificial epidemics by conducting illegal research wow, in biolabs across the globe. The Russian embassy in Washington has said in a statement on Thursday that in a statement on Thursday, the embassy recalled that Moscow has repeatedly sounded the alarm about what is called gross violations by the United States of its obligations under the Biological Weapons Convention.
And you know what, too, even though it's an illegal thing that they're doing, because I mean, they've been doing illegal things since we've been here on this side of the spectrum, hundreds of centuries. So it don't really matter, because I mean, people ain't gonna do shit about it either. What are they gonna do about it? They took the VC shot, which weakened their whole entire system. Multiple times, right? Some niggas took 2, some niggas took 3. Actually, what I found out, 80% took 3. Down here in the UK, what is it? It's about what 78, 79% took the VC. But most of them took about I want to say about what 90+% took 3 of them. All right, some of them took 1, some of them took 2, but a lot of them took 3. So how the hell these MFs gonna fight either? How can they go to 10 down and shoot? How can they have the willpower to do that when they're sick in the flesh? If you're sick in the flesh, they've already been weakened. They've already been defeated. That's why when you walk past these people, they depressed all out of it. These niggas can't fight shit, so these guys can do whatever they want. And they've been doing whatever they want. So what's the difference? And this is when the people wasn't even sick. So how much more now that they are sick? Come on, man.
The Biological Weapons Convention,
Let's get real. Go on.
which bans this type of armament, and has been signed by virtually all countries in the world, including Russia and the US. However, Washington ignores the claims, justifying itself by some humanitarian component of its programs, the embassy said, claiming that such excuses have nothing to do with reality.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going into something else. The point of the matter is, because we know what the deal is. The deal is this. These globalists, they want to establish a one world system. So let's not count the old world system the best way we see fit. Let's go back to our papers that we wrote down, and let's apply all of these things so that we can restructure the system, knock niggas out, you know what I mean? Get people to sensitize how we gotta do it, and we gonna come with a new structure. All you gotta do is watch the film on 1984. That's what they fucking want, man. You know, I advise all of you brothers to watch 1984 because I just recently watched it. But if you watch that film 1984, that's what it's gonna turn into. But you're gonna see people looking like zombies, like Walking Dead zombies, pressing all out of it, man. And they gotta take heed under the command of this face that they see. Which that's basically gonna be the face of God. Looking like Hitler and shit. You know what I mean? That's what they want. They want comatose looking motherfuckers like this.
Afraid to think the wrong thought.
You know what I mean? Trying to fix.
Head forward.
Head forward.
And they've always got a shaved head.
They always got a shaved head. So when they hear the voice from the face now, they gotta turn around and do this. Come on, man. Bullshit going, man.
Right.
I wouldn't want to live like that. Hell, I don't even want to be here, period. How much more in that situation? Get out of here, man. Go on.
It says,
And then you got rule 101
there is no doubt that such actions require appropriate legal assessment,
Right.
including, no, I missed the chapter, I missed the paragraph. The embassy,
too. Easy. Go on.
take your time. The embassy specifically highlighted American biological activities in Ukraine, where it said Washington has drawn dozens of country states,
Right.
institutions, and private companies into its projects, with civilians and military personnel alike being used as donors of biomaterial and the test subject.
And you know what I'm gonna say too? You see when you read this, I'm not getting mad. I'm not getting like, oh man, these fucking devils. In my mind, I'm thinking, let's go. Bring it on. Like, what are we waiting for? You know, because if you understand what's going on in the scriptures, you understand that this gotta go on. Because we know that these devils, they're gonna lose at the very end. So they gotta get so bad that it's gonna have to backfire on them. We already see that happen. So you can't get mad at what these guys are doing, man. Let them do it.
If I may say something, Elder,
Yeah.
I say something. Based on the same article here, not exactly the same one. I was reading an article about that what's happening.
That's the one you sent in it.
It could have been that one or another one. And I know what they said. They said that this one coming is going to be 10 times worse than the one that has had previous one.
Wow.
And as you said, I felt happy. I felt happy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because as you said, bring it on, you know.
And you know what too?
More
People that's watching what we're saying, what you just said, they may think, man, these guys
we're
are
crazy,
berserk.
yeah, we're crazy, yeah.
But guess what? It don't really matter if you what you think, because we know the whole line of life. Now that's even a bizarre thing to say too. How the hell is a group of young men gonna say, right, that they know about life? Yes, we do know about life because we've already studied the book of life. How about that? All right, the Lord revealed His understanding, His ways about the earth and about life in general to us. He revealed it unto babes. So this is why we're gonna sound like bizarre individuals.
Yeah.
Okay? So when we say, yeah, let's keep it going, shit, and what? You can think what you want. It ain't gonna change a thing any dog. We don't care. All right?
The reason why we know about life is because we've learned of Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai said, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
That's it.
No man comes to the Father but by me.
Or by me.
Most of these worlds, Yahweh Shai ain't dealing with them, so all they know are the ways of death.
Yeah. And we know both sides. We know that there's a great deal of evil as well as there's a great deal of righteousness.
And a lot of people don't want to face that evil. That's why they're scared.
That's why they shoot themselves. So when you do talk about it, they divert the conversation. You know, they want to talk about the game and they want to talk about whatever it is that's easy on the mind because they don't want to deal with that shit. But see, we can deal with it because we got the spirit of life. We got the word of the Lord. And the way to life is to know good and evil. Let me go on. So if you just know you just know one thing, that's not going to do you any good service. Like you could have a plate of food and you just got meats and sweet things on your plate, but there's no vegetables on your plate. You gotta have your vegetables. You gotta get into your Brussels sprouts sometimes, man. Actually, all of the time, if possible. You gotta eat greens. May not taste good, but you gotta have your greens. Because if you don't eat your greens, if you constantly eat meats and sweet things, you're gonna mess up your whole entire body. Because your body needs that balance. But more greens, I would say. A little bit more greens. You know? Anyway, let me stop talking and let's get back to the book. And as well as the article. Yeah, because
And it says,
I tell you the truth, we want these levels to go maybe. Go for it. I'm too sick and tired of this shit anyway. I know, look man, this shit gotta go down. It gotta go down. So let's do.
it says, with civilians and military personnel alike being used as donors of biomaterial and as test subjects.
And it's just like before. Obama even revealed it. He said, yo, it was just an experiment. He revealed it. So so now that they've already experimented on certain people that took the VC,
Altered their DNA.
right? So now, guess what? They're going for the real joint. They're gonna get that device, that implantable device now. And that's why they like you said. And that's why they they allow the people to take the VC, which modifies your DNA to do what? So that your DNA could be applicable for the implantable device. Because it can't work if you're natural. They trying to communicate with the purpose of your gut. So how the hell are they gonna do that if you're not modified? And and also the World Economic Forum, they was also saying that they want to get away from people eating meat. So let's just say people take certain things, and as well as the implantable device, they can manipulate you not to eat meat, to be allergic to meat. Some shit like that, you could do all kind of shit to you. This is real shit, man. Like, a lot of people may say, oh yeah, y'all are conspiracy theory nuts. But guess what? The conspiracy is real. Which the word conspiracy means to breed what is breed together. So what are they breathing into life when these individuals get into secret? How to destroy you. How to deduct the population. Because there are people of death. As a matter of fact, without me doing any more talking, let's get back to the scriptures. You can read the Psalms 60, I think it's 62, where it says they come to get Psalm 64. Yeah, Psalm 64, right? Yeah. Okay. I thought it was 62. Yeah, 60. I was thinking 64 first, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, let's get that. Whoever can get it, can get it. I'm there. Alright, go on.
Psalm 64 from verse 1. Hear my voice, O Most High God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
Right, that's the conspiracy. That's the, what is it? Your co-conspirator. Go on.
Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked,
right,
from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Right, because there is going to be an insurrection. Doesn't the scripture speak about that? That this devil shall come down having great wrath, because he know that is a short time. Yes. So yes, you can say it's a conspiracy, but it isn't a theory. It's real life. Now they can say it's a theory because we haven't seen it. So they may be justified in saying that. But see, when you know the Bible, you know the inner workings of the system and the outer workings of the system, because it's been revealed. And man's goings of the Lord, and how can a man then understand his own ways? So we got the deep hidden secrets of the times. So whatever happens in this time, we know that it's because of the counsels of the Lord. So what we're saying is very well correct. And that's part of the reason why they've been pushing back. They've been talking about getting implants on people for a while, but they've been holding it back. Yeah, because of two reasons. They had to build on the infrastructure. That's true. But they've already got the infrastructure in place. Since what, 2021? So by that particular point, they could have came up with a great deal of psychological operation. Actually, you know what? I'm wrong. They did. It was the COV, right? But they could have used that one to bring in the mark the first time. Because this first time knocked a lot of niggas out. People believed it so bad that people was committing suicide. You know, kids was getting sick. Yeah, people was bugging out, man. So they already got the people where they wanted them, so they could have came with the C-hip right there. So why are they pulling it back for? Because in a part of their mind, we may be right. They listening to what we're saying. You know? But they ain't got no choice. That's the last call on the table.
Shit, forgive me, Elder, but you've got to remember that they've got all their satellites and everything. They can see the chariots better than we can see. So they hear what the prophets are saying, and they know if they make that move, then the Most High is going to make a counter move on the right-hand side. Right. But the thing is, that, like you said, it's going to get to the point where they have to force their hands to play that final
card. They ain't got no
card.
choice. But even right now, they don't have a choice. They're going to have to come up with something, because that's what it's all about, ain't it? It's about getting everybody implanted with the device. That's what it's all about. That's what these psychological operations have been all about from start to finish. So we've reached to that point where people have been fucked up with the VC shots. People have been dropping dead. A couple of very few people have been dropping dead, right? So it's doing its job. People look dismal and more zombified than ever before. So what the fuck you waiting for? All right? But what it is like I said, they're listening to us because they don't, come on, man. They don't watch the standards. They don't watch these stupid films that people be watching, these different shows. The TV that they watch is the prophets. So they hear what we're saying. And that's what's backing them up. But I say, look, man, I might as well go forward. Might as well go on, brother, because you got no choice anyway.
Back in Psalm 64, who wet their tongue like a sword, Psalm 64 verse 3, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and they're not afraid.
Right, and they're not afraid because they're confident. But they're not too confident though because they've fallen back. They believe in Shaitan, right? So if you believe in Shaitan, then what you backing up for? You think we back? That's like us saying we believe in your house shot. We gonna fall back on a couple of things based on what we believe. No, we gonna fall back. And ones of us are willing to die for this thing. Most of us, really, as it's supposed to be, most of us, if we're in the right state of mind, we're willing to die for this shit. So there's no fall back here. We believe in what we're saying. Right. So if they believe in what they're saying, they need to come full blood and get the ball fucking rolling, man. And stop this scare bullshit, man. I mean, yeah, it's having an effect on the people, but we don't give a shit about that. You trying to scare us? You ain't scaring us because we already got the full spectrum. And I'm not trying to sound confident in the plain way because it's not about our confidence. It's about the knowledge that we know. We know the left and the right hand side that's already working. So whatever y'all are coming with, it's not going to affect us if that's what you're trying to do. Go on, brother.
Our faith in this truth surpasses our fear of them and of their whatever they're trying to concoct. So our faith overcomes their fear that they're trying to put on us.
And their thing is, brother, we can get as much Israelites to take this ship. That means we got them. That means we can keep our lousy, degradable kingdom. No. Listen, man, it's about the elect. The Lord is only dealing with the elect. So once the elect have been sanctioned for their deliverance and have renounced their mark, this society's body up in water. Or not water this time, but fire. That's it. So it really doesn't make a difference what these niggas do in secret though. And they all old and broke the hell out. You know, doing things the wrong way, fucking shit up, and that's probably another reason why they falling back. Because they're afraid of the reaction. Go on.
Can I say something lovely there, love? And it's funny, right? That these devils, they're watching us, right? And they know the scriptures via us, right? Because they're on the carnal side, we're on the spiritual side. They know that the devil is going to, it's a time now that he's going to try to seek as much as possible to what's the scripture again? He's trying to quave down great wrath. Now, patience is a very important thing in this truth, right? Now, he knows that when he brings these certain prophecies forward, and he draws it back again, he brings it back forward, he draws it back again. A lot of people, right? The elect are not going to lose faith, but there's going to be a lot of people going to lose patience because of that.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying there? Right? So they're clever enough, they're very, very clever. Yeah? They want people to lose patience. That's a way of a strategy to try and get to get more of the Israelites, you know what I mean?
Right. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but the thing of it is, the elect, we already know the knowledge.
Oh, we know that. Yes.
I'm not saying. I'm just speaking in general. It don't matter how clever they are, because the Lord is going to take the wise and take their wisdom to outwit them.
Because remember, they're desperate at the moment. They're very desperate.
I know they are, bro.
Very desperate.
And they look all miserable and all messed up. Come on, man. Because I mean, if your whole thing is being established, you should be smiling. You should be filled with light and life in your things. Yeah. But they looking all depressed and down and out because they've already lost the battle before it even got started.
It's like even Charlie Boy in his recent coronation, you think the guy would be happy, right? He could hardly bust a smile even at that point.
You know,
and that's his coronation.
And you know what he said? He said, man, this coronation is boring. How the hell are you declared the king of the UK and you saying this shit is boring?
he said.
Come on, man, his own coronation.
Yeah.
So if that's what he's saying, then he ain't a happy guy. He's a miserable old son.
And they took him in, it was either that event or the one before. They took him in the back to sign the papers, and the ink went all over his hand. And he was like, "Oh, this is bloody on his head." Yeah.
Right. And that's when he was coming in.
He can't even hold a pen properly, man.
So here it is. They're transitioning from the old world order to the new world order, and he looks like he's a sad piece. He looks pathetic.
He's having a hard time.
Yeah. And he's going to be the main guy that they're going to push to announce it. But he's unhappy about it. So this is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, see, we're not unhappy guys. We may be miserable during the day, but we're miserable because we want to get out of here. That's why we're miserable, because all of this bullshit's still going. But we're not miserable because we know, oh man, there's going to be all kind of shit going on. Listen, man, I'm not miserable over that. I can give two shits about them. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't give two shits about the majority of these bug outs, man. These maggots. I don't give a shit about them. Come on, man. Go on, brother.
And this is one of our favorite. I think we say this scripture in one of our services.
I'm not going to talk anymore. We're going to get back to the scriptures.
In one of our services, Numbers 6 verse 24. The Lord our power bless thee and keep thee. The Lord our power makes his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee.
Yeah, read that again, man.
Numbers 6 verse 24. The Lord our power bless thee and keep thee.
Right.
The Lord our power make his face shine upon thee.
Yeah,
That's
so
telling
later,
us wisdom.
right. Yeah,
And
so,
be
go on.
and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace.
Right.
And that's why we're not worried, because we actually at peace at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we're going to be at peace then.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be troubled in the flesh. But eventually we're going to get used to it. We're going to revert back to the word and we're going to be at peace again. That's all it is. Because like I said, we don't, listen, man, I don't give two damns about these people. Like 1,000 people could die right in front of me. I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't bust a sweat. And I mean that, man. I'm not just saying that because it sounds good. I literally mean that. You know what I mean? Real talk going on. I know it's weird for me to say that, but it is what it is. Reality is real. That's why they go on, talk.
Birds agree with you there.
So, brought something to my mind, 1,000 shall fall at thy side.
That's the spirit.
Being worried about it.
Yeah.
Because you're in the right mindset. Let's read 2 Ezra 14 from verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. And here's the point. And haste to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen shall happen and be done hereafter.
Exactly, because if you're gonna bug out over the death of the people, you ain't gonna be able to. You're gonna take them out over the shit that's gonna happen. As well as David witnessed, King David, all of the ancient men, they witnessed that thousands have died before them among their own people. They had to deal with that shit. So guess what? We gotta deal with it too. We gotta deal with probably seeing thousands of people are dying around us. Yeah, you have to deal with it. So you can't care about what these people are and what they're living, what their life is, because they're living vain lives anyway. The scripture says, "Let the multitude that were born in vain perish." Come on, man. Like this brother, he has a particular job where he deals with people in their house and everything, and I can guarantee you, every house that this brother's been in, it's probably to do with some kind of witchcraft that people are diving into or some bullshit, man. They ain't living for nothing. Most people ain't living for nothing, man. So why the hell should we give a shit about it? Come on, man. And some may say, oh, that's not biblical. That's not biblical. Well, it is biblical that thousands are going to die. And it is biblical, which is what was told to Ezra, that don't worry about those. But be concerned about those that are going to be saved. That's what it does say. I'm saying it in my way. Go on, bro. You got what you say. Come, read down.
I was just looking for another one. Background was.
I tell you what, read that scripture that I roughly paraphrased.
It's like I lost because I was holding a few and I was looking.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Because Ezra was told.
Put off mortal thoughts. because greater evils than these shall come upon the earth.
But that's not the one. I want you to get the one. You can hold on to that.
No, that's what I read before, trying to lead back to where we were.
Okay, come. Yeah, I want you to get that precept though, where it was told to Ezra that the Moses encouraged up.
Oh yeah, I'll get it.
I think that's in second Ezra 8 or 9.
I've got one for you, yeah?
Go on.
If I may, while you look for that. Proverbs chapters 4 and 16 says,
It is another article.
For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. You talk going from house to house, you know, doing deliveries or whatever the case may be. These are the type of people that we're dealing with, man. And us too. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Right, this is what they do day to day. That's what they live for. That's what the festival's all about over there. Some of them may be, some of them are actually to have a good time, but this is what they're taking part in today. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence, but the path of the just is as a shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day.
Break it down.
So, yeah, they're having a good time. They're drinking to forget yesterday and tomorrow, the future. We have to face work, so let's get as drunk as possible, get legless, get shit-faced. So, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. What's taking place with all the wars? You know, they celebrate their wars, the death and bloodshed that they do on a larger scale. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Now we're just in a little. This is our party, if you want to call it that. But it's getting brighter. The path of the just is narrow. Scriptures talk about the road is narrow, but the road that leadeth to destruction is wide. But the path is bright. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's getting just and it's getting brighter. Our hope is getting closer and getting brighter.
Right. So in the time of Jacob's trouble, that's when it's going to be extremely dark.
Right.
That's when it's going to be the darkest time the earth has ever seen. But in that same time, it's going to be the lightest time that it's ever been witnessed spiritually, because we see that the day is going to come of our kingdom.
One more. 19 now of Proverbs 4. But the way of the wicked is as the darkness. Just to back what you just said, Elder. Of the darkness, they know not at why they stumble. They're going to be stumbling, dead bodies, they're going to be keep stumbling for the sea hip. They're bringing that back. They're going to be stumbling because of the sea hip and all other kind of things. The sword goes into it, that in Jeremiah, the sword, the dogs to tear, the sword, and all kinds of death is going to be on the earth, man. Isaiah 91 too.
Yeah. And you know what, too, we're talking about another variant we're talking about. And keep also in mind that there's going to be other psyops happening at the same time, because they need to bring home the point, the lie that, look, we need everyone implanted with the device. So they need to convince as much people as possible with a very destructive psychological operation. And that's what they're going to do. You mark my words, that's what they're going to do. Thus saith the scripture. Go on.
This is an article from The Independent, and it says, new variant wave has begun and masks should be worn again, scientists warn. And it says spread of new variant could cause extreme pressure on the NHS and cause more damaging long-term health problems, says a health expert.
Yeah.
Then it says experts have warned it is reasonably certain the UK is in another wave of the variant.
Also, see, you got to pay attention to what has been said. It's extremely certain. Am I correct? That they're aware of a different variant.
That the UK is in another wave of the variant.
The UK is in another wave of a different variant. That's why they're saying we may have to command the citizens of the UK to wear masks again.
And as the brother read a while ago, it says that the NHS is going to be on all strain.
Right.
And look at the doctors, the junior doctors now on strike.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? The nurses.
So let's say it's all looking up. So let's just say you injure yourself somehow. They're going to tell you where to go. And they was even saying those that are over 50, if you go to the NHS hospitals each and every time too frequent, they can say, look, we have to put you to death.
We have to lock you up, man.
They gotta put you to death, because what you're doing, you're taking from your pockets.
We're fucked.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
Hey, we may be fucked too, because you got young guys too that are sick too. You know what I'm saying? So if they said anyone like, yo, it's crazy, man. Go on, brother.
Well, the other day, I think with my mum, right?
Right.
She was in the house by herself, and she called the 111. But for the thing she was experiencing, that particular line was the wrong line. So then, when they called her back, they said, if you call the wrong line again when you're sick, we're not going to answer you when you're actually leaving. That's cold. You got 111 and you got 999.
And it recorded that.
And the GP told her to call 111.
Wow.
So when she called the 111, they said, nah, for what you're experiencing, this is the wrong line. So if you call again,
That's so cold now.
You don't give a fuck. You don't give a shit.
they're basically saying, fuck you and go die.
Because you take them from their pocket.
It's so wicked, right? Because when you say, okay, 3 strikes and you're out, there's just one time, then it's, if you call back again.
That's the dragon, man. The dragon's starting to reveal it. The horns are coming out now. Slowly.
So they coming with it, man. They coming with it. You know, they ain't fucking around. So this is how you know we're close to the end of this thing. Because, go on, bro.
I'll finish your point and then
All right. Oh, you got a precept.
just a quick one.
Con, that's all right. Yeah, so the thing of it is, like I was saying, man, like you said, brother, the dragon is showing who he really is. This devil is really showing that cold stone spirit. Because we told y'all, man, years ago that this devil is going to start showing his horns. And you know what? So you got a lot of jakes waking up to this, man. I'll keep it real. You got a lot of brothers in America, even in his brothers, Benjamin in the highlands. Everybody's waking up to this, man, and even in West Africa, too. Because this devil is really starting to show who he really is. And it's going to get worse, too. You see what happened to the niggas in Hawaii?
Oh, yeah.
How they laserize all of them people. And they got the nerve to say, oh, yeah, if you eat that, then it's conspiracy. No, it's not, bro. It's real. That's what y'all did.
And if I made the Alabama rule,
Oh, yeah.
rope ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what the elders were going talking about it as well at the after camp. Said that I didn't notice it though, because there's a lot more going on what you put out in the first news article, but there's a lot happening. And he said there was a guy, a Benjamin brother, or he could have been one of the tribes, jumped in one of the lakes. Let's say the pool was over there, and I'm here. He jumped in and swam over to the.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And he takes that's a mighty. He said that he might be a mighty man because it's not easy to do that, you know.
Right.
After he's swimming for a little while, especially Jay, you've got heavy, dense bones. You come out, you might not feel like pretty. He went in, he laid into them. So brothers are going into some brothers are going into that, saying that the Judah is rising up a bit, you know. Even though
they did say that the Judah's going to be a terrorist teacher. But that's the part of it. And you know too, a lot of these wild ass, I call them hyena ass niggas, they're gonna show their wildness when it's all said and done. They're gonna start stealing shit, they're gonna cause fires. That's why they're here. They're here to serve a purpose. All of them niggas with the gold fruits and everything, they're gonna show their wildness, and Esau's gonna deal with that before everything goes down.
Even over here,
you got wild ass niggas over here too.
The planned meeting on Oxford Street on TikTok, they all agreed to go Oxford Street. And then just ransack everything. When was that? Recently? Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. They all agreed on TikTok. We're gonna go there at a certain time. We just gonna shop to shop. Hundreds of them. Just fucking it up.
Yeah. And then the police have to go and deal with it, which they try to deal with it.
They're all on camera. They're all going to get caught. You can't do it now today. Yeah. I mean, back in the 80s, I'm not even going to lie, some man was doing stuff like that. But to jewelry shops, where it counted, mashing windows, going in, all kind of, we don't want to say too much, but it's the same thing coming back now. But man stopped doing it because of CCTV.
Well, they had, what was it, Tottenham riots. Was it like, 2011? Yeah, Tottenham riots. And you had people running up in the shops and stealing TVs and shit. And they all got caught, man. A large majority of the people from the ends is in jail now. Because they stole something from others. You know?
It's just folliness. They think it's fun, but when they're kicked down their door and grab them up, they realize how serious what they're facing.
But people gonna give a fuck when the shit goes out and that's no these young crazy ass bug outs, gremlins, they're gonna come out their woods and they're gonna go to the main ends and just take everything and just even kill a couple of people.
But there's another, it's like a funny video on the net, right? From a few years ago. But this Elamite cop over here in England, this police dude, he went to confront a Jake and he started stuttering and foaming at the mouth, and then Jake said to him, be confident in yourself. How you gonna tell a police officer to be confident to arrest you? So that shows you that the police don't have no authority. The Jake said to him, be confident and talk properly.
No respect, don't respect.
Don't respect him, man.
How it's going, man. And he was even saying in one state, the whole police department got locked, his arm striked out. He said, so it's about to go down, man. And you know what, too, maybe the reason why I'm saying now is they gotta prepare themselves to be militarized, because they're gonna have to control these people. Because people are gonna start going berserk a lot.
You got crazy ass niggas in France.
Yeah.
For France, man, they're a different level.
Yes, they are.
The French people, they'll listen, man. You step on their shoe, there's a riot, you know. And then England gets influenced by France because it's quite close, you know, geographically. So people, they're doing it in France because America's kind of far away. But then when people see, it's going on in France, then they do it here. Like same thing in reverse when who is it? The Tottenham riots, right? The looting reached France. Yeah. People in France got influenced by the and they started fucking shit up over there in France. You know?
Mark Duncan, innit?
Yeah, Mark Duncan. You know, so let's go back to the point. We're back in the article from the Independent, and it says experts have warned it is reasonably certain.
So it's reasonably certain, he said. And this is how you declared expert. And keep in mind, we know that this is all bullshit.
Yeah.
They lie. They're just trying to say what they're saying. Go on.
The UK is in another wave of the variant.
Another wave of the variant. And what they're saying is because they say that Eris is spreading. But also keep in mind of this other variant, which is BA.28.2 or some crap. Go on.
Hospital admissions for the variant have risen in recent weeks, just as the effectiveness of the juice is wearing off. A new variant has emerged.
They call it right with a fray.
I thought it was going to protect.
Yeah, it was meant to last forever.
Yeah, so why is it wearing
Nah, if you put on gloves, they can still get you with the forensics.
The effectiveness of the juice is wearing off.
Slowly.
A new variant has emerged, and ministers have decided that the variant boosters will not be offered. Will not be offered to nearly 12 million Britons.
Because they got to get the boosters on the ready. They don't have enough boosters for the next one. Oh yeah, bro, read your
Just a quick one, oldie but goodie, but relating to the article. Revelation 12:12. Therefore, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
And what's the sea talking about?
The people.
I'm gonna look at the two brothers answer.
It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Is that talking about the people?
Yeah, that's what it's talking about. Yeah.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Because this is going to be a global thing. This level, he wants to push that new world order down your throat.
Desperation.
Force feed you with that. So he's going to come with a global scenario, a global catastrophe, a psychological operation. Because check this out, right? The COV joint, that was kind of massive. It was very effective.
It was coordinated worldwide.
Yes, it was. And it happened worldwide. And a lot of people took the VC worldwide. So just imagine what the real thing's going to look like. Oh, God.
Straight out of Wuhan.
That's what they said, but it's coming from, what is it, gangs of research or some shit. Yeah, but a little area, bro. And it had an effect on the world. Little old Wuhan, man.
You know, I'm imagining the people worldwide dressed in black with sunglasses and baseball caps, straight out of Wuhan, you know, like NWA.
Yeah.
Hey, them mobs had a hard time when it came out, you know. When you go on the train and you see one, everybody scattered from them.
Watch out.
Yeah, it was heavy that time when it came out, man.
Like my man, he's coming back in office the next year. Donald Trump, he said China.
China virus.
This guy loves China.
The hand, China.
Yeah.
He did that, the 666.
Remember they took the frustration out on the Judas that were out there. They They showed it. And it was, remember that?
They threw them out their houses.
Because they was like saying, see, they're focusing on us, but we want to get them to focus back on you. All the attention's back on you. That's the psyche.
Gone. And you know what they're gonna do, Sergeant, brother. You know what they're gonna do too, right? They might even say, because remember when they first was bringing out the narrative of the COV joint, they were saying that Black and Hispanics was catching the ball. Yeah. So they might go ahead and do that again. And that's gonna get Esau and Lie to go ahead and take the other one. Because if they're catching it, which everyone knows that we have stronger dominant genetics. So we're getting fucked up by their lies. They're gonna have to line up and go take it. And a lot of jigs ain't gonna, well, they are actually when it comes to the implantable device. Unfortunately, you know. Anyway, read what you got, brother. Back to the precepts.
This is 2 Ezra 9, verse 22. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. And let my grape be kept, and my plant with great labor have I made it perfect.
Right. So that's all we got. With great labor have I made my what? My branch and my what?
No, he's great.
Kind. Which, if I'm correct, is referring to us. Because he then mentions, let the multitude of them that perish be born in vain.
Yeah, he's talking about the elect.
Yeah. Because that's what it's all about. So the Lord don't give a fuck about our shit. Come on, man. So that's, I'm off that right there.
So the article continues and it says, without ramping up surveillance and the face of wanting immunity, we are traveling into winter.
And according, and I don't put you too, brother, because I got something in my head. Now you have a legislation that was passed in 2004, I believe, the Blair's Act. And they were saying, according to the Blair's Act law, if there's a particular pandemic around, they can basically declare an emergency on the city. Martial law. So this can very well be the case, but the last one they didn't do it. But this one, this can very well follow up the case.
Without ramping up surveillance and in the face of waning immunity, we are traveling. We are traveling into winter, more vulnerable with the blinkers on.
Right.
Warned Christina Pagel, a member of the Independent Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies.
So they might prop it up because we're going into that season, like what September to October. They might, right? So they gonna hype it up probably around that time because that's when people catch the flu and everything. But the flu is an easy thing you can get rid of. All you gotta do is get into doing things that's gonna heighten your immune system. Because the flu is basically a weak sickness. So if that sickness is fucking with you, that means your body's weak. That means you gotta put some work. That's all it is. It don't mean you're gonna die and then give it a dose. You know? Because I don't catch the flu, but when I hate people come, that's what, man.
That's a good point about flu season, because when the C19 thing was in effect, they were saying you can get both at the same time. You can get your booster joint and your flu shot in one go. So it makes sense that they push this again. And it's kind of sad because, Salakia, I remember being at the chemist one day, and I needed to get a photograph done for a passport, and I went to the chemist, and I walked to him, and I said, I'd like to get a passport photo, please. The lady goes, oh, sorry, you have to come back later after 6 p.m. I said, why? She goes, oh, we're using that room for V-shots. And I saw people literally lining up and walking in. I'm thinking, oh no, these guys are done. So, on one hand, the flesh in me feels a bit sorry for them, but on the other hand, in the spirit, I'm like, fuck these people, man. They're getting what they deserve because they didn't want to hearken onto the word and the warnings which you've been putting out there.
And I mean, there's plenty of warnings too. And I have to do my face like that and exaggerate. Because you got plenty of people, doctors, accredited doctors that have said, came out and blew the whistle. And said, look, they doing A, B, and C to y'all, but they still took it. They still took it. They didn't listen. So if they didn't listen to what the doctors and the people were saying, then I mean, that's on you, man.
Yeah.
Go on, brother.
Jeremiah 11 verse 14. Woo! Therefore pray not for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them, for I will not hear them in time that they cry unto me.
So I'm not going off when I say I don't give a fuck about these people.
For their trouble.
For their trouble. And that's the 2/3 of Israel. So you better believe they gonna take it. They said, look, man, you know, he was kind of hesitant about it. not taking it. Even my man, what's the dude's name from, what is it, Black News 101? Sarnetta, as much as knowledgeable as Sarnetta is, he even took the blow. Wow. Took it. And he's trying to convince other people that, this and that and the third, I have to do it. Rare, right? So, a lot of the Jakes may very well have to take this thing too.
But is he not meant to be conscious?
Right.
He's a conscious group, isn't it?
Exactly. Black consciousness.
Blood conscious.
Yeah.
It comes down to this. If the Most High in you, you're going to take the shots and you're going to take them on.
I tell you what, brother, you take over.
So lucky, the point, this boils down to the fact that if you're not protected by the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, you're going to take these shots, man, and you're going to ultimately take them up. Because you're not going to have the mindset to resist it. No reason. Really, a person's motivation ties to their reasoning. Like, how much do you believe in this or believe in that? If you don't believe, then you ain't got the faith. If you ain't got the faith, you're going to be like, oh, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to get punished. But if you have got the faith, you're going to know that Revelation 14 chapter tells you you'll be destroyed for taking them up.
If I may bring this out, Elder was talking about I don't call them, doctor's the right word. That was giving warning out.
The whistleblowers.
Yeah, here's one example here, Dr. Rashid, Ali Butter, wearing was an American, he died, he's dead. Yeah. Anyway, put it together, man. Yeah, an American conspiracy theorist, right? Put it together. Yeah, theorist, anti, I can't say that one. Anti-C-hip, yeah, and is licensed autothet. Read that bloody word for me, Baba. Osteopathic, yeah, for the camera too. Let them see it. Man, yeah, osteopathic physician. He was known for his controversial use of the Chaltern therapy and numerous conditions, including autism, and because he was basically saying about the jab, autism. Put it together, man. Put it together. Karen was what he was saying.
So like, when you see his face, I might recognize him.
Yeah, all right.
No, I can't see your name.
Yeah. I'll show you after. I'll show you for the last one. Yeah, after I show all the cameras.
Right, let me see this guy. No, I don't recognise that one, but I know a lot of them who did come out and bring up some truth. I don't recognise him.
Alright, show him again, bit bigger.
Yeah.
Bit bigger.
What's your point, Arya?
Yeah, so he's now kicked the bucket, deleted, yeah? They called him conspiracy theorist, right? You know what happens to people when they're talking the truth. For his anti-C-hip, without saying the word, he was going in and warning people. Okay. Now he's in the spiritual realm. He's in the spiritual realm. Let me see if I get the carry on talking. I'll see if I find the date of his death. When did he die?
This goes back to Daniel the 12th chapter.
Yeah, it's recent.
Daniel 12.
Might have been in March, probably.
Right, Daniel 12 verse 4 says,
you're familiar with it?
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. For many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So you've got a lot of these whistleblowers from within their various industries coming out now and blowing the whistle to let people know the truth. That's part of knowledge being increased. So that shows you the times we're in. We're at the times of the end. Because the Most High is causing Esau's own tongue to fall upon himself.
That's right.
So it's like no matter what Esau does, from every side his kingdom is collapsing. Because it's collapsing from within. You know, people within his industries can't keep their mouths shut. People without, like us the prophets, we're telling the truth upon this devil. So people are now waking up. So it's like he's got no excuse. Well, not no excuse. He's got no way out of the corner he's in. He's going to have to fight his way out. Which is why the brother brought out Revelation 12 and 12 a minute ago. He's going to come down with great wrath.
Yeah.
And a lot of Jacob's going to die when Esau shows his horns, man.
Right.
Because this is the thing, the elder said that, or was it Urami said, you've got a lot of these niggas that are, the grills in their mouth and shit, waiting for an opportunity to loot and shit. Well, they're going to do that, but guess what? There's going to be an equal reaction from Esau, where it's going to be like shoot on sight, man. And a lot of Jake that aren't into this truth or have made mockery of this truth, they're going to get shot and taken out.
But Lord willing, we of the hopeful elect will be saved in those days, and we'll be able to laugh at the calamities that we see going on around us. You got anything, Ariel?
Yeah, I got a quick one. We spoke about the dragon. Yeah? This is in Isaiah 27. I read from 1. It says, "In that day the Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. And he shall slay," I love that word, man. "Slay the dragon that is in the sea." So we know the dragon is. Because I just keep, for some reason, that movie, Golden Child, it's such a stupid movie.
No, I know,
I hated it, man, when I first was watching it, like when it came out. I watched it, but it was just entertainment. But when I watched it the other day, I fucking loved it because. You gonna say that?
I watched that film as a child and I loved it. And when I watched it again as a man, I saw new things in it. You know? So like, I don't need to cut you, get to the point. Eddie Murphy's character is called something like Gerald or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And when Charles Dance comes to him, he keeps calling him Yarold. Why is he doing that?
In the Hebrew.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Because there's no J in the letter Hebrew. So he's calling Eddie Murphy by his Hebrew name. And Eddie Murphy is the chosen one.
Right.
But nobody believes him because he looks like a regular street nigga. But he's the chosen one to protect the golden child. So on and so forth. So it's a deep film.
Yeah, I'm just going to comment on it, just get to the point, because even though you mentioned that, see, I don't watch it like TV, but for some reason the Most High's got me wants me to understand it, even with what you just said there. And the elect is the golden child, and you've got the protector, or the two protectors from Tibetanese, and so anyway, he said, how do you kill the golden child? Because they have to surround the golden child with evil. They have to make him eat blood. Right. And it's surrounded with eating blood now. When we me and you were talking, right, we weren't going through the details, but we're surrounded with evil, man. And we've got the father food. We're the golden children.
There you go, you
right?
see it.
So now, and one more thing, right, at the end, Sargon-Numsky, right,
Charles Dance's character,
right, the English posh-looking guy who kept his air of sophistication, what did he turn into at the end? Dragon. How could you kill the dragon? You have to use a Janpei dagger. So the golden child and the chosen one were able to put he had to reveal himself because his back was against the wall. You know, he wanted to go all out.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'll tell you something deeper about the film. When I watched it when I was like 4 or 5 in the cinema. When I see it as an adult, I saw so much more. Maybe I'll do a video. Actually, I did do a video. But anyway,
do a video on it. I'll watch it too, because man.
I'll do another video on it. But so where did they get the blood to feed the golden child with? Because they were putting it in the porridge, right?
Yeah.
You remember?
I remember.
If you remember at the start of the film, Eddie Murphy is an independent investigator who's investigating child kidnappings.
Right, yeah.
So basically they're killing the children and getting the blood and doing their rituals with it, which is what Sargon-Numsky was involved in. And they're trying to defile the golden child by eating it, feeding it the defiled porridge and surrounding it with evil, which, like you said, that represents us. We're surrounded on evil every side. We have to eat this defiled bread. So by Esau corrupting our spirits, he can then destroy us.
Keep us in sin. Balaam and Balak.
It's a good film.
But at the end, just to not to get too deep, just for now, do a video. I don't mind. And just at the end, when the Most High pulls us, when he was away from sin and corruption, that's when the spiritual power was able. He's more powerful. The golden child. So now we're under the vibration of sin. We're subdued to a certain extent. Well, we're totally subdued. But when the Most High pulls us away, right, and they're coming like a flood, the Most High is going to pull us away. That's when I'm just standing through the Spirit. That's how we're going to get. That's how the spiritual power is going to be introduced. You know, in so many words. I'll read it and then I'll cross it back. Go ahead, read it again. So we're aware of this. Isaiah 27:1 says, "In that day the Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea." So Yehoshua is the dragon, the golden, or the brass dragon, and he's going to slay the red dragon. Elders, sometimes you've heard the elders speaking about dragons. So Yehoshua is a brass dragon, and Esau is the red dragon.
The revival of the Roman Empire, the beast that had the wound to its head but was healed. That's what we're living in, the revival of this Roman Empire. And we're looking to see the end of this thing, because every kingdom that was upon the earth had a beginning and an end, and this kingdom is no different. And if you just look at it on a paper level, like look at the economy, forget this. Just look at it on a really reasonable level. You see that this society is through. People can't afford the cost of living. House prices through the roof. The cost of shopping is going up. Last year they had the energy thing, where the energy companies are charging more than people could actually afford. And you've got this whole, they're trying to make homes more green and stuff like that. Saying, oh, you reduce your energy if you make your home more green, as in like get loft conversions and change your windows and shit. But they ain't really going to do shit for you, man. He's still going to have his hand in your pocket. So this kingdom's at its end. Second Ezra's 6.
And talk about that, these people are fool, right? I was watching this video, this guy, right? This black guy, so-called black guy. He put the solar panel on his roof, yeah? It cost him £140,000 to put it on, and he's doing his calculation, and it wasn't worth it. No, it wasn't worth it. Yeah, he said, okay, it goes up and down in the winter, but he said when he did the calculation, he said it still didn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
On the top, second of your 6?
No, 6 and 7, Baba Kisha. Between 6 and 7. Second Ezra 6 and 7.
Second Ezra chapter 6 and verses 6. We're going to read verses 6.
Verse 7.
And
Start
verse
7 and read down. Baba Kisha. What?
Oh, verses 7.
Yeah, start 6 and 7.
Second Ezra chapter 6, verses 7.
And read on down.
And read on down. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
Right, so what's going to be the parting asunders, the separating of the times, and what shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Meaning, what's going to be the end of this world and the beginning of the world to come? Read on.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac,
Right,
when
that's the royal line, the holy line, Abraham unto Isaac.
when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Right, so that from Abraham unto Isaac down to Jacob and Esau. So it's those two principal characters. Esau came out first, as we know, and was read all over like a hairy garment. And the scripture says that the elder will serve the younger. So Esau failed on that point, man, but it was the Most High that made him come out first. But Jacob held his heel. Read on.
Yeah. 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right, so Esau is the end of the world, meaning that Esau will be in rulership at the very end of the world. And what represents the end and the beginning of the next? The appearance of Yahweh Shai. So we know through prophecy that Yahweh is going to come back during this reign of Esau. It's not going to be the kingdom gets translated to the Moabites, and then it gets passed to the Ishmaelites, then to the Ammonites, and then back to Esau again. No, that's not going to happen. How do we know that? Because we move from precept to precept and measure the time diligently. That's how we know we can measure the times by the prophecies. Good examples, book of Daniel. Daniel spoke about the visions he had of all the kingdoms, the various beasts which represented the empires. So we can tie that prophecy with what when we read in 2nd Ezra about Esau being the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning of it that followeth, because that fulfills the prophecy. Esau will be at the end, and when he goes down, Jacob rises. Call it the Jacover, not the takeover, the Jacover.
That's right.
Have you got anything else?
Precept, yes, brother. You finished, brother?
Yeah,
I got some here. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
Right, so what was the vision? Was it just someone standing there staring at a sunset? No. The vision came by holy men, prophets. Great example is Daniel. When he had his visions, sometimes he said the visions made him sick. Ezra's had visions. Most of the prophets had visions, man, because we're visionaries, as the Apostle Gabar says, and I like that term, meaning that we can envision the things which you read.
Yeah.
And that's a very precious thing, because as the elder was saying earlier on in the camp, we are blessed to be able to partake in this knowledge. Yes. Look at it, man. You people on the camera probably can't see, but we're in the park surrounded by people. You've got a huge concert type thing going over there at the fairground. A lot of people are there. They're partaking in this thing. They're within not too far a range from us, this small sanctuary, but yet they can't partake in this thing. You know, the Most High is not dealing with the many, he's dealing with the few. So that's why you've got to appreciate if you're even allowed to receive a portion of this truth. It's very precious, man. There's many people who would desire to be able to partake in this and they're not able. You got any more on that?
Yeah.
Go on.
Though it tarry, wait for it. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
So tarry means to delay. Well, the Most High is not slack, or Yahweh Shai is not slack concerning his promise, as some men would count slackness, but it's patient to usward that we should all come to repentance and not perish, meaning the elect. Because he can't do anything until the elect is sealed. So the elder recently, just a moment ago, was speaking about Esau being slow to implement its mark, but really it's a timing thing, because Esau's implementation of the mark has to coincide with the sealing of the elect. So once the elect's sealed, Esau's going to push his mark. He can't do it before because the elect has to be sealed in order for the next phase to come. Because this is all about seasons and times. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, says there is a time to every season. So there's a time with prophecy as well. And that time for us right now is to be patient, meaning to suffer. We have to know this truth and still operate within this wicked world, which isn't an easy thing to do, because this truth can become burdensome. You know, I used that when I was doing a lesson earlier in the week. The word of the Lord can be a burden, but that's part of carrying your cross. You know, knowing that you're spiritual royalty, but having to take orders from Edomites on the job, or to have women talk down to you and disrespect you for no reason. We have to suffer all these things, which is part of the patience, the suffering. Because while we are here, the Most High is proving us to be worthy to be saved, because we're not there yet. If all Israel is ready to be saved, we'd already be in the kingdom. So there's still work that needs to be done in terms of preaching this word, waking up our people, and also getting ourselves made ready for the day that's coming. Anybody got a precept?
Yeah, I got one. This is Daniel chapter 7. Just touch on this. 13. I'll start from 13. Yeah, you mentioned that Daniel
Vision of the Most High.
I had his reaction. Yeah, Daniel's reaction. Daniel chapter 7. And we can relate to it. And 13 says, and I saw in the night vision behold, one like the Son of Man come with the clouds of heaven, and come to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and the kingdom, that all people, nations and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Right. We know the other kingdoms, what happened. It's going to go on to explain it. In 15, and Daniel was grieved in my spirit, and I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit, and in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. Yeah, talking about being sick. Oh, just come to me. I had one. And it is not about no spiritual power. This is it's more talking about, anyway, let me just relate it. I woke up the other day and I just felt all kind of fucking sick. And I don't know if any brothers ever had it. I know I've heard brothers in their videos talk about when there was like a presence of evil in the room. The presence of evil in my room. I woke up, my heart was in my chest, just pounding. But I know what happened in the vision. Right, it's like the Queen family. I was meeting with the Queen family, right?
King Charlie.
You could put ahead. He said it might sound a bit topsy-turvy, but I know some brothers probably, your brothers, they can make sense, pick sense from nonsense. So someone who looked like the Queen, and I ain't putting myself like, oh, the Queen, and all that. Fuck the Queen, man. You know what I mean? But I was, and she handed me a little vase or some kind of baby-looking fragile thing, right? And you got those doors, them doors that go in Selfridges. In Selfridges, you see them. Revolving doors. Revolving doors. And she said to me, and I was walking through it, and she said, please hold on to that and carry it through. Make sure you don't drop this. And I said, I said something, but I said it very politely because I knew I didn't want to take it. It was like, it was too fragile. And she was the royalty. And she said, but just take it, please. And every time they keep offering it to me, I said no, and I ended up going through the doors without it, right? But when I woke up, it was like an evil presence in my room. And it's like, you know what they do behind closed doors, yeah? Which it was a witch in the room, man. And I just woke up and I said, you know, they're just trying to put curses on me. Bearing in mind what was happening in my vision. There are other details too. So I woke up and I just said some Hebrew. I said the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, and my heart calmed down after a while. But I knew it wasn't a good vision to have. You get good ones, you get them, and this was the balance. So I relate to this Daniel. Daniel's one was a good one, but when you eat that, sometimes you eat the honey and it's sweet in the stomach. Sometimes you get a nightmare that's not so good, and it's a good reaction in the end because you might pick up the Hebrew, pick up the book and read. You understand what I'm saying? So you got bitter, you got sweet, you got sweet, you got bitter, vice versa. So this is what Daniel said after his vision in 15. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. Carry on reading, right? And I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. Probably I'm going to be watching the video, chilling out, relaxing. Forgot all about my dream, and then brothers are going to. I'm going to watch it, not knowing that they're interpreting my dream. To me, it's for me. They don't know it, or they may know it, or they may not, right? But the interpretation is going to come. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth, right? And we know who they are, right? We've got the ancient Babylons, the Medes, the Persians, the Grecians, the modern day Romans, And go on in 8 says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom even forever and forever. So the Most High, that dream, shook him up a little bit. You get shooken up sometimes, a little raffled in your spirit. You wake up and you fucking think, oh, you know what I mean? But then you feel that day ended up good in me. And I done a video, I related what happened, and brought scriptures into my what I experienced, and I felt good at the end of the day, and I learned some Hebrew. Well, let me just say, I went over some of the Hebrew that I used to use all the time. So not all bad dreams or so-called nightmares are necessarily bad anyway. They both come from the Most High. But at the same time, in my video, I was breaking down saying, don't forget to fucking pray, man. Sometimes you might let your gut, you're not realizing it, not on purpose. They think that there's a little gap sometimes, because what they say that when you're in the midst of, when you're sleeping, your most vulnerable time is about 3 o'clock in the morning. They know that. The witches know that. So I said,
oh, they call that the witching hour.
So I was rebuking in my mind, so I do it anyway. That's what I woke up and I was rebuking. I said, I was rebuking the witches. I said, I was going into my Hebrew. Sometimes I'm in a trance and I'm just going in and rebuking the demons in the yard, man. So the moral of the story is, don't forget to pray blessings on the brothers and curses on this place, because they're doing it 24/7.
You know what, you brought me to, I want to actually touch upon that subject. So we covered what we were saying before, because that's very real, witchcraft being used on us. You might not even realise.
You got your experience as well.
Yeah, I've had a few experiences of demons getting at me and stuff. But do you know what, I'm going to tell a story here. Some years ago, when I was in my late teens, like 19, I was at university, and I was studying on a course, but they'd missold me the course because I wanted to do like computer animation, computer games and stuff. They said, yeah, you could do a lot of 3D animation, but it was a lie. We didn't do 3D animation at all. They had me doing some architecture type degree stuff, so it wasn't really for me. So I came to the conclusion that I wanted to leave the university, but I needed a reference in order to get into another university, and because I didn't have a GCSE in art at the time. So I wanted to try and do an art foundation, which gets you up to the level to be able to do art at degree level at university. Now, because I didn't have the GCSE in art, a lot of universities straight up rejected me, and I wanted to leave the university I was in and get a transfer. So I went in one day and I told them, look, in the first year, I said, look, this isn't really working for me. I'd like to transfer to do a foundation. Could someone help me with a reference? Now, the main tutor wasn't there that day, but there was another lady there. I remember her name. I'm not going to put it on the camera unless the spirit has it, but I remember her name clearly. It was Gillian. And she says, oh, well, why do you want to leave? And I said, well, look, it's not really working out for me. I want to go on this career path. This isn't really leading me in the way. She goes, oh, well, I can't write you a reference if I don't see your work. All right, I'm like, sure, I can bring my work in. I've got sketches and books and books of sketchbooks. I've got loads of work I can show you. So she goes, okay, well, come back next Friday, bring your portfolio, and I'll have a look at it and I'll write you a reference. I'm like, okay. Now, I already had work, but I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to put in some overtime to do some really good stuff so I can show and hopefully get a good reference. So I spent the next week working, drawing away, doing all these pictures. At the time, I was doing studies on the human hand. So I was doing loads and loads of drawing, because oftentimes with art, the hands are the most expressive parts of the body as well as the eyes. So knowing how to convey hand gestures really goes a long way to selling the images you want to portray. So anyway, I was working away, got to the next Friday, and she said come at 10 a.m. on the Friday. And I had a big A1 portfolio, went on the trains, and it's quite far away because getting there was a pain in the ass as well because I was commuting. So I got there this day, and I got there early. I got there about 9:30, and I was standing there. This is in 2002. I was standing there with my portfolio and waiting for her to come in. Now, up that place, they were very racist as well because there wasn't many Jakes around. Yeah. And
in my vision too.
Oftentimes, I'll be walking home from the university with people driving past screaming, "Fucking nigger," you know. So that was the kind of climate it was up there. Right?
How long ago was that, Bubba?
I said it was 2002. So I was there, got there early, with the portfolio. I was waiting by the office. Various tutors were coming in and going out, and I was waiting for this lady, Gillian. And she said, if I'm not there, see another tutor called Mark, and he will write a reference for you. So I was waiting. Got to 10 a.m. when I was supposed to see her. She comes in, right? She comes in, and she looks at me. She turns away, she keeps walking and goes into the office. And at first I thought, oh, she just ignored me. That was a bit of a look. What's that? You know, but then I thought, just be patient. Maybe she's just come in. Maybe she wants to take off her bag and, you know, get a coffee or something, and she'll come and talk to you. But lo and behold, a few minutes later, she comes out and walks straight past me without saying a word again. She sees me, but then she acts like she don't see me and walks past. So I'm like, what the fuck just happened there? So it's 10 o'clock. I stood there waiting. I thought, well, maybe she'll come back in a minute and I'll talk to her. 10 o'clock, it got to 10:30. 11 o'clock now, still no sign of her. Then at about maybe 10 past 11, this other tutor called Mark comes in, who she said, if I'm not here, talk to him, you'll write your reference. So I said, excuse me. And he's like, oh, what is it? I says, oh, I had a conversation with Gillian, and she said for me to bring my portfolio in, and that she'd look at it and give me a reference so I can transfer to another university. I'd already quit by that time. More for me, but I'd already quit by that time. But I was coming back for the reference, and he goes, oh, well, this is the first I've heard about it. I can't help you. I've got a class to teach. You have to take it up with her. And he walks off. So I'm left there standing like, what the fuck just happened, right? So then it gets from 11, gets to 12, I'm still standing there, looking like a fool, waiting for her to come back. Hours, my friend. She said to meet her at 10, it's 12, no sign. Waited till 1 o'clock now. At 1 o'clock, about 5 past 1, she comes back, does the same shit, looks at me, and goes straight through to the office, right? So now I'm like, well, no, I can't wait here forever. I'm gonna have to say something, right? No. Now the office door was slightly open, right? Slightly ajar, and I could hear a photocopier being used, right? So I walked up there and I thought, let me just, maybe she forgot. I knocked the door gently. I'm Jake. I'm Jake in the Edomite institution. I'm not gonna be like kicking down doors, and, not politely. No answer. Not politely again. No answer. So I knock the third time now, and I gently stick my head around the door to say,
did you open the door?
The door was already open, it was already ajar.
Yeah.
But I stick my head around the door to say, excuse me, and she goes, oh, I know why you're here. I know why you're here. You're gonna have to leave your portfolio and come back another day. I'm busy, I can't help you. What? So I'm like, what the fuck, man? She's like, I know why you're here. I know why you're here. I'm busy right now. You have to come back again. I can't meet you. I can't help you. And I says, look, we had an arrangement. You told me to come back on this day. I'm not even part of this university anymore. I've come back specifically for the reference which you said you would write. I'm here and I was here on time. She's like, oh, well, I can't help you. I've got a class to teach. You'll have to leave it with me and come back another day to collect it. And at that point, it's like, I felt like, man, you know, like the lowest piece of shit on the street, like, and I said, look, don't worry about it. Because I could see she clearly didn't want to write the reference. So whatever she would have written would have been some bullshit anyway. And if I did leave the portfolio there, it would be like, come back another day, come back another day. And I'd be in that cycle of never being able to leave. And the thing with me is like, I don't want someone to do something for me if they don't want to do it. So I was like, I said, don't worry, just forget about it. And I walked away. And the Spirit was talking to me because, you know, I hear Spirit sometimes. And it's saying to me, this is wrong. This is wrong. You shouldn't have been treated like that. And I walked home like kind of in a daze, shell shock. I didn't walk home, it was a long journey. I had to get the train from Dartford to London Bridge, then back to where I'm at. And all the way home I was thinking, you can't make it in this society. Everything's against you. Even though you're working hard, they still see you as another dirty little grimy nigger, and they don't ever want you to be anything. You can't. It's like the sky is made of iron. You can't get out of your situation.
One step forward, two steps back. That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I got back home now, and my brother was there at the time, and he goes to me, how did it go? So lucky, this is a long story, but I'll get to the point. He goes to me, how did it go? I said, I told him what happened, and he goes, no, that ain't right. That shouldn't have happened. And then my mum come home, and I told her what happened, and she says to me, you know what? Don't take this line down. What you do, she says, write them a letter of complaint. And I talked to my dad and he said the same thing. No, don't take this line down, write them a letter of complaint. So, and what my mum said for me to do is, she says, write it, get it recorded, delivered, but don't just send it to this lady. Find out who the 6 top people are in the university and send it to them too. So that she can't say that she never received a letter, and let them know the mistreatment that you received.
Oh, open letter. Is that
No, I wrote a letter explaining what happened, but don't just send it to her. Send it to her, but find out who the 6 top people are in that university and send it to them too, right? So I did that, right? And I'm good with words and writing, so I wrote a very articulate letter, blow by blow what happened. I sent it. Recorded, delivered, so they can't say they didn't get it. 6 people can't say who will receive this letter. I got a phone call about 4 days later. Oh, hello. I'm not going to put my government name out there, but I'll use my. Is that Caleb? And I'm like, hello, who's speaking? So, it's Gillian from the university. I got your letter. So I'm thinking now, okay, now she's in deep shit because the top people at the university heard about what she did and the bullshit that I received. So now they put her ass to the bonfire. So now she's calling me trying to make some correction. She goes, I got your letter, and I just wanted you to know that I would be happy to give you a review if you'd like to come back. I'd write a reference for you. And I'm like, at the time the Spirit was telling me no, because it's not going to be legit. She's going to write me a glowing, wonderful review just because her ass. Really? Listen to the story, man. She got in trouble with her superiors. She's calling me because she's trying to cover her ass. So is she going to write me a reference which is a reflection on my work, or is she going to say, oh, his work is excellent because she wants to get out of the fire?
Yeah, that's what it is.
No.
So like, maybe I move a bit quicker, but that's why she was doing it, right? So I didn't want a reference that wasn't legit. So I said, thanks very much, but it's okay. I'll make my own way. And it wasn't because of pride that I said that, but just because I want things to be real. And she was only doing it to cover her ass. Right, here's the point. She goes, oh well, if ever you do want to come back, I'd be happy to do it. I'm like, well, thank you, but okay. I hung up the phone. Now here's where the story gets real. A few days later, I was at home, and I had a cat at the time, and I was living with my mum and my brother. There was nobody else in the house. It was just me and the cat in the living room, sitting down. all of a sudden the cat starts hissing and snarling for no reason. I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? And it's acting really weird, like as if there's something else there. And it starts going by the door and wanting to get out of the room. Now this is where I'm bringing it into your story, right? So I followed the cat led me upstairs to my bedroom, and it started sitting by the my wardrobe, and it was hissing and snarling by my wardrobe. I'm thinking, what's going on? I've never seen a cat behave like this before. I thought, well, maybe there was a mouse somewhere, but there's no mouse. I couldn't work out what it was. The next day, I was in my bed sleeping, and I had a bad dream about the university, about leaving. And I didn't want to be there. And with me, I have very spiritual dreams, and I can discern them and interpret them. But I woke up from that dream, and I was thinking, man, at least it was a dream, because I hated that. That was horrible. Then all of a sudden, I felt this evil presence in my room. It's like it came in the room, couldn't see it, but I could feel it. And then it jumped on me, and it started crushing me. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is the first time I experienced what I like to call the terror in the night, which is when demons jump on you and they try to hold you down and shit. I never experienced that. Well, I had experienced it before, but on a lighter level. And in my childhood, it was just paralysis. But now this was a physical attack. So I'm thinking, well, don't panic. Didn't panic. It came off me. I thought, well, at least you know that spirits are real. I mean, I always believe, but at least I got some confirmation. And as I was thinking that thought, it jumped on me again. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, I'm getting crushed. I can't speak. Sounds like I'm underwater and shit. But eventually it let go. Now, I was in the bed and I turned to face the wall. My brother must have come up about 1 because I used to share a room with him. He'd come up. He was just computer for about an hour. But I didn't let him know I was awake, and I was lying in the room. Eventually he got up to turn off the bedroom light. And as soon as he turned off the light, the demon jumped on me again. But he was in the room this time, so I was like trying to call out to him, like help, help. But I couldn't get the words out, so I was like struggling. Eventually it let go of me, and he goes to me, I says, didn't you hear me trying to call you? And he's like, oh no, I thought you were just talking in your sleep. But at the same time I was talking to him, I could see above my bed, on the ceiling, it's like when you see in the films where a witch gets chalk, and she draws the circle and then the pentagram in it. All that shit I was seeing above my bed swelling, it was green. And I was saying to him, can't you see up on the ceiling? He's like, no, what are you talking about? I can't see anything. And I was like, it's like these, I think they call them glyphs, circling, and it was green, and I could see it clearly, but he couldn't see it. Now, why am I telling that story? Because I'm bringing it back to what RER said about witchcraft. I believe through the spirit that the woman that I got in trouble with the university didn't write me the reference. She worked some witchcraft on me, man. That's why I was getting attacked by them demons at the time, while I was seeing the weird shit above my bed. So don't think that witchcraft is it's just in fairy tales and Harry Potter and shit. No, man. You got you can attest to this. You've seen it yourself recently. You might be living on your street, right? And your next door neighbour's got a fucking shrine to some off-demonic spirit. And that's happening next door to you, or 5 doors down. You got someone working fucking what's that? What do the Haitians do? Voodoo. You don't know what people be doing, man. But the thing is, if you're spiritual, sometimes you can clock what people say to you, man. Like as you said with that incident with that person you met in the week, she kind of told on herself what she's into, man. And a lot of these women be working witchcraft, man.
Yeah, just the end of the story.
Last precept.
I had my vision, and it's brothers are aware of it. You're relating yours. Let me just end with this because we're closing up now. Yeah, for the last precept. Yeah, Numbers 23 and 23 says, "There, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel according to this time. And it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath God all?" Because when I woke up, just to we're going backward and forward, relating this, right, for the edification of the church apparatus are the Hebrew name, man. When you used to say, call out to the name of the Lord, man. Psalms 18 and 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. Call upon the name of the Lord. And after a while, I knew things restored back to its normal self. But that was a reminder that the name, how powerful the name is. And I done a video which I related, my story. And that was the moral of the story, man. Don't forget, even in the heat of your sleeping, they're always putting up enchantment. So as well as to counteract it, we've got to always be on our game too. Our heads on a swivel, and the Hebrews, man, going into the Hebrews, which I'm doing that even more now. You know, just to end off.
Man, all praises be to
Wa
Yahweh.
Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Ruchakodash.
Shalom, man.
Shalom.
Shalom.
What about
Yaha. And Caleb,
Kanye.
I want to talk to both of you.
Come on.